Hail and well met. Welcome to the Westgate Irregulars. Our episode tonight, Double Agents. Dun, dun, dun. I am Eric Scott DeBee, your very tall and seated in his own home office where his height doesn't matter DM for the evening. And I am here with 5 of our 6 intrepid adventurers. Rhiannon is down with Curse of the Head. She has migraine, so she is not going to play this evening. But we have the other 5, and we're going to go around and introduce ourselves, starting with Erin. Take it away, Erin.
Hi, I'm Erin M. Evans. I'm the author of the Brimstone Angel Saga. I'm also going to tell you about our sponsor. Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms is a strategy game that unites iconic Dungeons & Dragons characters from novels, campaigns, and popular shows into one epic adventure, including Farida and Havilar from my books. The game is available for PC and Mac on Steam and web, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, iPad, iPhone, and on all Android devices. For more information, check out idlechampions.com.
Hi, I'm Ying Wang. I'm a writer and a filmmaker.
Hi, Randy Henderson. I'm an author.
Hi, I'm Emily Tang. I'm a game designer at Wizards of the Coast. Disclaimer, all thoughts and opinions expressed in the stream are my own and do not represent Wizards of the Coast.
I'm Stephen Merlino. I'm a writer and a teacher, and I play Sturge.
Excellent. So, to remind everybody what happened in the previous episode, let's go to Rogar's recap. Take it away, Rogar.
All right. Put on the recap for the recap. So, leading up to last week, we had, Artemisia's stepmother, Marcellea, came to town to try and take her away. But then she was kidnapped by night masks, and in the process, Cecilia was poisoned, and we invaded a night mask, hideout in order to get the antidote. But we didn't find Marcellea in that process. And then last time, it was April Fool's Day, so we decided to switch around and play each other's characters. So I'm just going to cover. I went to an illusionist in the marketplace. He does these things where he takes 2 people and tries to put them together to see what your baby would look like, sort of thing. And anyway, I asked him to. So I had composed these pictures as I go through the recap. So since we played each other's characters, here's me as Caliph.
Oh.
I've got her lovely hair
so
and her expression of necromancy. So. So I as Caliph, I was about to try flying off a bridge when Aiden showed up in a fancy carriage. So convinced Aiden to sell his family carriage to fun a fun afternoon together. That's what.
Classic Caliph.
Classic Caliph.
I like how in the picture you can still see an edge of my glasses.
Yeah, these are the illusionist didn't take a lot of time on these. I can tell you that. Here we have emo. Emily as Sturge. She met the old sea dog dwarf who once transported the party to a pirate ship. Anyway, he gives Sturge crabs. That's unfortunate. Then a card. He gives him a card. Recovers from a small town that Sturge once visited, and that's the same card from the deck of many things that blocked many of Sturge's memories. So we'll see if anything comes of that. Speaking of Stephen. We have Stephen as Stong, Yang Yang's lovely hair there.
Wow, I feel like I know that person. I've seen that person before.
I know, right? That's what I was thinking too. I'm like, he looks like somebody else.
Is that
really weird?
North Korea?
Oh,
it looks a little bit like. I don't know. Us together, I think we make up a Kim Jong.
We become a dictator. Okay,
yeah.
All right.
Oh no! Right. So moving on, Stone got drunk with his babysitting partner Nala, and then gained a new super friend named Narb, and he revealed to Narb that he was the famous arena fighter, the Smashing Basher, which. Was unfortunate. And even more unfortunate, he promised to get Narb a date with the Bronze Wolf, i.e. Artemisia. So we'll see what happens with that.
Spoiler alert, it's not going to be pretty.
Yeah, not going to be pretty. Then we had Erin playing Artemisia. She has Rhiannon's lovely red hair there. And she she just basically gave out questionable fashion advice to a large number of Artemisia's customers. And then Lilton showed up, also known as Lord Gold, also known as Lord Darden, also known as Artemisia's lover. And he questioned what her ring was that she always seems to disappear into, and seems just to kind of generally amused by her attempts to avoid answering his questions. Here's one of my personal favorites.
Oh, yes.
Yang Yang is Cecilia.
Hello, chat. Yes, I am single.
Cecilia convinced her knight, Sortian, or at least the person who claims to be her knight, to quote unquote audition to be her newest bard to replace Stong. And Sortian performed the Song of Steel, killing most of the bards in the bar and across the city. And then she urged him to challenge Stong to be her favorite new bard. So basically just caused a lot of trouble for Cecilia there, and possibly Stong. We'll see. Looking forward to the fallout from that. And then finally, we have Rhiannon as Rogar.
Wow.
Wow.
Rhiannon preaches
That's
about...
what gave her a migraine.
Yeah.
No, that's great.
So Rhiannon preached about, or Rogar preached about Sharon-Lar in the marketplace very badly. She rolled a 5. So she blames the Bogglewumps for stealing her accent and says that the way to be happy that they should all have babies. And then a Durger dwarf named Wrath is powerfully swayed by Rogar's words and vows to go forth and form a ministry around the Bogglewumps and his interpretation of Sharon-Lar's will. So again, there'll probably be some fallout from that. But then basically, and then we all headed to the arena, and turned out the whole time we were Bogglewumps. Or not Bogglewumps, sorry, doppelgangers. Who knew? Just as bad. So April Fools. And then we played out our real characters again, and we battled ourselves basically in the arena. And Stong got in a kidney punching contest, and Cecilia and Artemisia blasted away everybody to see who was the real, like, cool Queen of Lightning, right? And then and Lilton melted one of Artemisia's opponents, but from the sidelines we never saw him. And then
Allegedly.
Rogar kept healing poor Caliph, who kept going down, but in the end she got in a good like vampiric attack on one of the doppelgangers and drained quite a bit of life from them. So I guess that's good. And then surprising nobody, Sturge backstabbed, disengaged, and generally robbed a lot of the bodies, I think, at the end. But they captured Stong's doppelganger. Who is Stong spelled backward? I can't remember how to say that. But yeah. And Rogar's really hoping to basically convince that doppelganger of the danger of the Bogglewumps and make him transform into another Rogar so he can spread his ministry twice as fast. So we'll see about that. But that's basically what happened, and that's where we left off. So back to you, omniscient narrator god.
Fantastic. Well, the true Westgate Irregulars find themselves breathing heavily, having just defeated these dastardly doppelgangers in the sand in the arena. Mist rises, particularly, and steam from the corpses that lie bleeding at your feet. They have turned back into their elongated alien gray-skinned doppelganger forms, except for the
Mitch
one.
McConnell. Oh, sorry. Anyway, continue.
No. I said elongated, not condensed.
Sorry. Yeah, no. That's not.
Look, I'm just trying to describe it accurately.
Okay, sorry.
So, except for the one that you spared, and the kind of melty one that's near Artemisia, that used to be Artemisia, in fact. Artemisia is still looking at that doppelganger, which, as you may or may not recall, was dressed in a dress that she was looking forward to wearing and had pieces of her jewelry, which are now in the melty mess of the doppelganger.
Ew.
And she's considering the best way to obtain those things. And she reaches down toward one of the, like the necklace the doppelganger was wearing. And a hideous, deformed partly melted hand reaches up and grasps her by the wrist. And the doppelganger's eyes fly open, and they're partly popped and oozing. One of them is like falling down its face, and it hisses at her and spits out arcane words, and the two of them vanish in a puff of magic.
Ooh, dang.
Wait, doppelgangers can do that?
That's not good.
Goodbye, Artemisia.
Leaving the five of you there,
I love the possibility.
standing on the
It's like,
sands.
plot hole doppelganger. It just reappears and goes, damn it.
Sturge, as soon as he realizes that they're turning back into their doppelganger selves, he would like to conceal that with an illusion, if it's possible.
Conceal what with an illusion?
The fact
that they're becoming doppelgangers again?
Yeah, like quickly make them look like us. So that I'll explain in a second.
Okay.
See where you're going
There
with this.
are 4
Rogar doesn't
remaining
stop.
doppelganger corpses.
Are they within? Are they near each other?
Not really. They're kind of scattered around the arena.
Oh,
Wait,
dang it.
what spell are you using for that?
Minor illusion or silent image.
You could
15.
disguise one of them to look like an actual corpse.
I'll do that with my Sturge corpse.
Okay,
I want
so
to
it still looks like you, is what you're saying.
Sturge is dead. The actual
Like a dead Sturge.
Yeah.
How did that Sturge die?
Well, the other Sturge killed him.
Perforated?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and I'm going to say to the others, pineapple. Got me? Pineapple.
Everybody was shouting pineapple all over the place just a few minutes ago.
Right, look,
I'm not
Honestly,
sure
I
that's
think
convincing,
Stong
but-
is going to have to do like an intelligence check or something to
All right,
remember pineapple.
look, can I explain?
You're giving
The
this
real Sturge?
so that we
For
don't
viewers
zap
who
you.
missed it, that was our sort of safe word for a
I mean,
not a
can
doppelganger.
we actually see Sturge
Look.
do that?
I want people to think that the real Sturge died and that because if it turns into the doppelganger, then everybody knows that we killed all the doppelgangers. At least one of them now looks like.
Right, but if no, my question is like, did we see you turn the doppelganger corpse into you? Because if we didn't, then it looks like the real Sturge is dead and the doppelganger is still alive.
He didn't say he was doing it stealthily, so
Yeah.
you could tell that he's casting illusion magic, and
Well,
then the
that's good.
corpse turns into Sturge,
Okay.
a dead Sturge.
I am 100% freaking out about Artemisia vanishing.
Yeah.
Kind of leapfrogged over that.
Yeah,
She's
sorry.
gone.
Sturge would have done this before she vanished.
Fair.
Okay.
I could
that's
also
fine.
see you be like, I'm in the middle of something. I'll come back to that later.
I'm
Don't
doing
bother,
some
don't bother.
skullduggery real fast. Hold on.
This is very delicate work.
So I think Stong would like to turn to Knots after Artemisia vanishes, and he
Okay.
wants to say, where did he take her? What was that?
Oh, yeah. That's our lieutenant. They must
I'm
have
gonna
taken
run up and
back
grab
to
him and be like, where is he?
well, there's a safe house which we're supposed to report to at the end of this 10-day.
Then we're going there. Put them all in a pile and burn them. That looks just much like dead us as it does dead doppelgangers. at a
I want
glance.
to step between Cecilia and Knots, and I say, wait a minute, Cecilia. Not only is he kind of sympathetic to our cause, but he's a fan.
Yes.
This is a source of income for us.
Right. Yeah.
Speaking of which, we should check the bodies
dead
to see
ones
if
in a
there's any,
pile.
if they have anything on them that might, give us clues or recompense.
This is
Well, the ones who had weapons that they were attacking you with, those are real weapons. Like the rapier that Doppelsturge had is a real rapier. The hammer that Doppelrogar had is a real hammer. The armor that Doppelrogar was wearing was a real suit of armor. It's not made of mithril, but it is plate
Wow.
armor.
Wow.
Okay.
I'm assuming Doppel Cecilia's rod is a very pretty stick.
Essentially.
Got it. I like mine better anyway. I think
Yeah.
I'd get in trouble if I ditched it.
Wearing?
Doppelkalet didn't have any armor, but does have a scimitar.
Did you say that Doppelrogar was wearing mithril plate or not?
Just normal plate armor.
Normal plate, which is
It's
still
a
rather
knockoff.
valuable.
Yeah.
Bought
I mean,
from a guy
it's
down
still-
by the docks.
Plate armor requires like a lot of work, and so it is fairly spendy.
Yeah,
It's made of aluminum, though.
To be clear, Rogar is thinking less at this moment about money because of Artemisia is clearly the priority. We got to find Artemisia, but I was just thinking, I don't know how much we can trust or how much this doppelganger knows. So, you know, if they might have like a map or markers on them.
Teleportation medallions.
Oh,
Exactly,
yeah.
something. So
we detect thoughts just to make sure he's like not lying to us.
Oh, okay.
You're going
I
to cast detect
can't.
thoughts.
Yes.
Okay.
I think the
doppelganger who
doppelganger might
detects
think you're
thoughts.
coming on
Is
to
there gonna be
him.
like this feedback loop?
Yeah. So
What was
you
that?
What am I
hold
thinking?
on.
I'm thinking what you're
Microphone in
thinking.
front of a speaker.
Go.
Also, does the Caliph doppel still have the 100 gold pieces from the sold carriage?
There is a pouch of coins on the Caliph doppel, but it is not 100 gold pieces worth of coins.
Aw.
It is maybe 8 or 9 gold pieces worth of coins.
Oh,
Ooh.
bastard bet on himself.
That just
Well,
spent so much so fast.
That doppelganger is obviously very good at spending coin.
In character, he was like, "Oh, this is great, extra money."
All right, so you cast.
Sorry, does Sturge get his card back?
Oh,
Do you recognize
I
it?
want to touch that thing.
Do you recognize it, though?
I'm punk it on the end of my sword and say, "Here, take a look at this." No, don't.
It kind of affects you more than once.
As a matter of fact, Sturge, while you were going through the, they're not actually pockets of the doppelganger because they're all just flesh of the doppelganger. You did find the card on the doppelganger, and you did see the card, but nothing happened to you.
Oh, so I'm immune to that card now.
Well, once it happens to you once, it won't happen to you again.
It's like a vaccine.
Oh my God, I could show that to someone though and just go like,
No.
"Hey,
No,
Lilton,
they have to
Lilton,
touch it.
Oh.
Pick a card.
You can keep it and then just flash it in front of our enemy's eyes.
Yeah,
Love
Don't
it.
they have to actually take it, though? It's not just seeing it. It's like
Oh,
taking
maybe.
the card, isn't it?
maybe."
I don't know. Cecilia doesn't know this. She's not going to mess around with that stuff. She knows not to mess around with that stuff.
I'll
Well,
definitely.
yeah, if they
make a
ask,
note
"What
of
are
it.
you doing in my dungeon?" You say, "Oh, here, I have a pass," and you just hand it to them.
Okay, Caliph, you are casting detect thoughts. You can hear all of their thoughts, which are about these kind of things. Whenever in at my table, whenever somebody casts like detect thoughts or something, it allows them to hear all the meta conversation that the players are having. Those are the surface thoughts of the characters. And some of them don't make a lot of sense for the characters, but sometimes surface thoughts don't make a lot of sense, right?
Rogar's going, "Yeah, you could use like a hall pass in a dungeon."
Oh, man. This dog is thinking, sometimes I feel like free will does not exist. Like I'm being controlled by somebody else.
That Sturge is thinking, it's like a vaccine.
I'm immune.
Anyway, and the Doppelstong is like, oh, I'm so glad they didn't kill me. This is great. This is great. This is good. I like this. This is good.
Plus, I really like Stone.
Would you like to probe deeper into his thoughts? That prompts a wisdom saving throw, which in this case, you manage to push through and find yourself in the doppelganger's thoughts. Has Caliph ever cast this spell before?
Yes.
And who did you cast it on? Do you recall?
Better not be one of us.
I
Like
think
just a normal person?
yeah, or like in the sewers at some point.
Okay. And you probed into somebody's mind?
Yeah.
All right. Most minds, when you probe into them, you'll find like one consciousness, one self-image
Oh, geez.
that you're interacting with. When you probe into Doppelstong's mind, you find dozens of self-images that are surrounding you at all times, babbling
Weird.
many, many, many things.
Anyone I recognize?
Well, there's one that looks like Stong, and that one is the loudest and clearest. And that one looks up at you and goes, "Oh, hey, best friend, hey."
Hello, best friend.
Hey, how's it going? There was a brief impulse of must murder this person now, and then it was back to hey, best friend.
I want to send murderous impulses with my own mind.
Oh.
What is happening?
That's weird. What are you looking for? And then you see him standing in the arena with all of the Westgate Irregulars dead all around him. And then they all turn into doppelgangers. And one of them, Doppel-Caliph, in fact, has a shining golden ring on one of its fingers.
Oh.
Wait, Doppel-Caliph has a ring.
Yes.
Isn't that Artemisia's ring, though?
Well, it's a different ring.
There's lots of rings in the world.
There are lots of rings in the world.
And one ring to bind them all.
But I
if
feel
it's
like that's a very natural fear for all of us
Yeah,
now.
if it's confusing to have it be a gold ring, we could make it something else. So like it's a silver ring that the doppelganger was wearing.
It'll just be not Artemisia's gold
Not
ring.
Artemisia's ring, yeah.
What happens if I try and take the ring?
You flow out of the Doppelstong's mind and find yourself standing over Doppel-Caliph, looking at its gnarled, twisted hand, which has a ring, a silvery ring on one of its fingers.
Take it.
Okay, you are now holding this ring.
If I leave,
It tingles slightly, like with some kind of charge.
gonna leave the doppelganger's mind and see if I can hold on to the ring and take it with me.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yep. You're back in the regular world and you have the ring in your hand.
Weird. Does it look magical? With my
Yes.
eldritch sight.
It is definitely magical.
That seems kind of a gimme, but it does seem like we should check.
Is it still tingling?
Uh-huh. It doesn't shine as brightly in the real world.
Weird. What? Why are you holding a weird ring?
My parents always said, don't just, take rings out of doppelgangers' minds. You don't know where they've been.
It has an
This
aura
comes
of
off
pretty
a lot.
strong conjuration magic.
What's that mean, wizard?
What is it? Okay, what does it mean that it's really strong conjuration magic?
Ooh, what's that? Is it magic? I think it is.
Sturge, there's a wall.
Can I see it? Can I touch it? I just want
This is when I cloud of daggers, right? This is when
Kenneth is going to try putting on the ring.
Ooh.
Okay, you put on the ring.
Something happened?
Nope.
Okay.
rub it. See what happens.
You rub it. A
Twist it.
genie appears.
Twist
No.
it. Twist
Nothing
it around.
happens.
Well,
I have
does
a
it
lot of
change color
experience
and
with
tell
this.
your mood?
Do you
Ogar in
twist-
his wisdom.
What do you do
wonder-
next?
Twist it
You
around.
ask.
Well, I know what you would do, Stephen. I'm asking what
I'm
Emily is
telling
going
her.
to do.
I'm telling her. Twist
I
it
guess-
3 times.
I guess Caliph is just going to continue fiddling with it while, like, how long did it take being in the doppelganger's mind?
It was just a matter of seconds.
I'm
Alright,
going
well-
to turn to Knots and be like, what is that?
But it's a piece of magic. To
What does it do?
probably safety, and Kayla twists the ring and there's this sense of charge that flows through her, and then you all have this feeling of falling backward through space, and then you are abruptly elsewhere.
With the bodies of the doppelgangers?
Nope, all the bodies of the doppelgangers and Knots remain behind.
Where are we?
Mm.
You are in a dark
Untwist it.
you are in a dark, dank, smelly underground chamber. It is abruptly pitch black, hard to see. As your eyes adjust, if you have dark vision, you can see that you are in a corridor which ends shortly behind you in like a fall of rubble, like it's been cut off from some other corridor, and it's 10 feet wide and it extends ahead of you into the gloom. It's a 20-foot wide long corridor, and it splits off in both directions in a T section.
Sturge turns to Caliph and goes, "See, that was cool. That's why we mess with magic."
No, it would have been cooler.
There is
would have been cooler.
A bloody, half-melted doppelganger corpse lying on the floor right where you have appeared.
Is this the doppelganger that Artemisia fought?
In fact,
fabulous?
One of you, which I'm going to determine randomly. Hold on.
Oh, I bet it's burned with lightning.
Cecilia, you accidentally step in the corpse.
Gross.
Haha.
Wipe my shoe on whatever is nearby.
You wipe your shoe on Sturge's cloak.
Oh.
What are you doing?
I have doppelganger on my shoe.
Well, put it. Let me prestidigitate. I prestidigitate her foot and my cloak.
You see smoky purple light creeping down the and both directions of the T junction in the corridor, and hear faint whispering chanting from somewhere, echoing along the walls.
What's behind us? Is there
the rubble fall that is
That's
closed
right,
off the
thank you.
corridor?
And this is the is this the doppelganger that was Artemisia before? Can we tell?
Oh yeah, it died in a very distinctive way.
Just wanted to somebody.
This is definitely that
somebody
doppelganger.
Is it
yeah.
melting a bunch of doppelgangers from a distance?
From a distance.
I just realized I didn't plug my laptop in. I'm going to grab my charger real quick.
I'm going to take this opportunity to go ahead and bless
The party.
bless the party. I'm going to bless Caliph because she went down several times this last round, and I don't know that we've had time to really recover from that. I'll bless Stong, and I'll bless. Well, no, I'll bless Caliph, Cecilia, who's our blaster, and Sturge.
Cool.
Because I imagine Sturge is going to want to creep ahead.
Thank you.
And so that gives you you add one die 4 to your attack or save rolls.
Sweet.
Roll the d4 as you are rolling. No, it's as long as the spell lasts.
Yeah, it's a concentration, so I'm maintaining
Great.
blessings of Sharindlar upon you and protect you as we venture forth into this clearly ominous and dark place.
Right. The corridor is 10 feet wide, and it looks like when there's the T junction, those are both 10-foot corridors that go off either direction.
Rogar, do
Aye.
you happen to have any more of those healing spells handy?
I do. Let's see. Yeah. So yeah, let's take a quick. Okay, how do I put it up? How's everybody doing? What are you at?
Oh, not so great.
I'm hurting my kidney. It's never gonna be the same again.
You need magic dialysis.
I do. I need a magical doctor.
What happens if I keep twisting the ring? Do we go?
I want to point out two things. One, there were a couple minutes that passed between the fight and you teleporting here. And so during that time, Sarshan, who was still present, would have healed anyone who really needed healing, or he would have done some healing for people. So if you are seriously injured, raise your hand.
Stong.
I have 3 HP.
I'm down.
Stuart
12.
just put his hand down. He's like,
But compared to these guys, I'm like, no.
No, I'm
keeping
still-
myself.
Is it possible I have a potion? I think I have some potions.
So Caliph and Stong basically need healing.
all right. In that case, he was not able to give you very much healing, so you're still going to need to rely upon Rogar a little bit. But
Okay.
let me just roll this a couple times.
Yeah, I just want to say we've got D&D Beyond activated, and I'm updating my hit points and spells if any viewers wanted to follow along.
Dong, he healed you for a total of 17 hit points.
Nice.
And Kaleth, he healed you for a total of 11 hit points. Those were the healing that he did before you were whisked away.
Feeling much fresher. All right.
But
like
he is not there. He is not there with you now. It's just the 5 of you.
Great.
And while you see the melted doppelganger of Artemisia, you do not see actual Artemisia.
Are there maybe footprints conveniently leading in one direction or the other?
Doppelganger goo.
Make a survival check.
Can we all make survival checks, or?
Well, actually, survival would be to follow the tracks or learn something about what it was that left them. So I guess it's just a perception check. So you can all make perception checks, and I'll tell you something if you made a good one.
It's a 12.
Thank you.
21.
Sure.
Emily, what did you say you got?
12.
12, okay. You didn't notice anything in particular other than those flickering purple flames. Those of you who got 19 and 21, okay, with the 19, you can tell that this is a well-traveled corridor. There are lots of smudgy, muddy, bloody footprints all over the place.
Look at all these footprints.
Some of them are boots. Some of them are just bare feet.
Are any of them high-heeled slippers?
She wears boots.
Oh.
They're very fashionable, and she won't let me borrow them.
So, are any of them high-heeled boots? Is what you're asking? No.
Are any of them Artemisia's boots? Is maybe a better question.
No.
No. Okay. Which doesn't mean she's probably carried out of here.
Stong. While Cecilia was looking at the footprints, you were your ears perked up to the sounds of the chanting, which you think is some kind of religious devotion to some sort of dark deity.
Sturge is going to creep up. He's going to use stealth to creep up to the T-junction and see what's going on.
It goes around like 5 feet and then goes forward again in both directions, like another 10-foot corridor. Like
Yeah. So there's no light.
I mean, we don't know what that is.
Well, there's the flickering purple torchlight. There are torches in sconces at immediately ahead of you. Yeah, at the T-junction, in the middle of the T-junction, there's a torch that bleeds out this kind of smoky light. And there is a torch around the corner to the right and to the left. Both of those paths lead you to thinner corridors that go off to both directions. One that goes to your left, one that goes to your right, and then the paths meet up again. I'm gonna I think Randy actually has a map of this. That's the square looking thing, Randy. Yeah, that's the one. So you see here. Yep.
So
and then there are those two paths, and then there's a path that goes the way that you came.
Great, thank you.
Right, if you were to just continue, and this big block in the middle is a big block of carved stone that's holding up the ceiling.
And the sound of chanting's coming from all directions, or
it's kind of echoing along the walls, but you suspect it's coming from the corridor opposite where you are approaching. So you'd have to go around that central.
I'd like to roll religion to see if I recognize anything.
Go ahead and make a check.
I rolled a 27 for stealth.
From here somewhere.
22 religion.
All right. Sturge disappears into the darkness. Classic Sturge.
I'm saying a prayer of healing for Stong and Caleb as well, because when I see that bleeding, I do prayer of healing. And then so you each get 15 hit points.
Oh, sweet.
I'm gonna
You
flip my
need
scary
Schindler's
Charlotte
healing.
That's right.
on the outside.
Oh, you're gonna put on your
You
scary
know,
Sharon
I've
dress?
seen enough like black stone, purple light that this seems like a safe bet. And if it's not, I still look real scary. I don't want
There
to
was
yell
that
at someone right now.
stupid statue of Char in the last Night Mask hideout.
Right? They have a problem.
They do have a problem.
Okay.
I also think I
Stone,
have that dagger in my bag somewhere. I might dig it out.
Yes.
the curved ritual sacrifice dagger.
Yeah.
You do indeed have it.
There's a lot of things in the bottom of my bag.
Mhm.
I don't clean it out.
Stone, with your religion check, you can tell that they are venerating the Dark Lady of Loss. They are chanting, they're importuning the lady to take notice of them and to soothe them in their darkness and to feast upon their despair and take delight in it.
Yeah.
Maybe I should just go in there and Fey presence them. Huh?
Maybe.
You could. But I tell the rest of the party what I found out.
So it's like a goth club, right? It's like... oh, okay. Sorry. Anyway.
Cecilia is very motivated and impulsive right now. Like, we need to go save Artemisia. So if you guys want to do something that isn't bursting in and acting scary and stabbing things and zapping with lightning, maybe you need to
hold you back.
pitch a plan.
Yeah.
Pitch a plan quick.
Oh, I will say that, Caleb, though you rolled low on your perception, what you did notice is that the sconces that are holding the torches burning with purple light are not just stone, but actually like stone shaped like black hands that are coming out and grasping the torches.
Classy.
Oh, that's cool.
Are those magical?
No, you don't.
Are they
think
going to
so.
grab us when we go by like some bad Willy Wonka wall?
The torches are faintly magical. You think
cool.
that is some kind of magical effect.
That's fair.
Like a continual flame effect, probably.
It's purple too, so it's not burning metal salts.
You should probably take one just in case.
So Sturge isn't going to go very far because he's kind of low on hit points, but he wants to see where. Sorry, I will say that in character because he's hurting pretty bad. But he wants to get a lay of the land here.
Wait, you're hurting as well. Well, okay. Well, my prayer of healing can cover up to 6 people, so you can have 15 hit points as well. Why not?
Does that take hit points away from Stong and Caliph? Or is it
No. Everybody who wants 15 hit points, take 15
I would
hit points.
love 15 hit points.
You get 15 hit points, and you get 15 hit points, and you get 15 hit points. Look under your chair. There's 15 hit points. All our viewers, look under your...
I was being an excellent friend and letting you have the hit points, but since you all don't
Thank you, it's appreciated.
I'm your best friend. Caliph took hit points for herself. I'm just saying.
Okay.
So selfish, Caliph.
Caliph.
Hey, I shared the gold.
Oh.
So, Caliph, you are kind of inspecting the torch, as it were.
Yeah.
It's not really a torch; it's just a hand that's holding like this, and then the purple flame is rising from it.
Like an actual hand?
Well, it's made of black stone.
Oh,
but it is shaped like a hand. Yes.
Should we take one? Do you think we'll need it?
It's attached to the wall.
I tend to not want to touch things like that because they tend to like trigger traps, but that's just but I'm stupid, but I'm wise, so I probably would not take. I would probably advise against it, but I should think Sturge would advise against it, hopefully. Although he likes to trigger traps, so I don't know.
Pulling out my ritual dagger that I stole, or that I was given. Thank you.
From the vampire?
That vampire who thought I was a priestess of Shar, and what was I going to do? Say no?
Hey, Sturge, you went to the other side of the thing in the middle.
Yeah, he's going to do a little investigating for traps before he goes much farther.
You find on the other side of that block in the middle is an alcove, and in the alcove stands a statue of a woman made in black stone. On her forehead is a black circle with a purple border, symbol of Shar. And rather than she is holding a flame, right? There's a torch on all 4 sides of that, including this one. This is the one on this side. And in her other hand is another one is a bowl, like you saw in the other temple. And it has some kind of dark liquid in it, and you see the base of the stone at her feet is spattered with what look like very much like blood stains.
Like someone made a little offering here, or like someone was bleeding and staggered against the statue.
Make an investigation check.
I think the last time we encountered one of these, we used it to disarm some flames or something like that.
Natural 20.
Great.
Nice.
Like a lot of someone's left offerings here.
Okay.
And you realize that this is some kind of magical ward, and that in order to bypass it, one needs to leave an offering of one's own blood in that bowl.
Good to know.
Mm-hmm.
Do a little. I think I'm going to, at this point, go back and inform the group what I've seen and what I suspect with this offering bowl.
There is, in fact, a small, long-bladed knife that is dipped into the liquid. You know, like how you leave a knife to soak when you're doing dishes manually. It's like that in the bowl of blood.
Gross.
Don't stick your hand in the bowl of blood.
Do I think I need to use that one, or can I use some other blade? Well,
Unclear.
I got a good roll on my investigation.
Did you combine your investigation with the detect magic?
No.
Then it's unclear.
I think I know someone who can do that though for me.
I'm
So I'm going to
Do you show the rest of your party up?
I'm going
in
to
this
go back
direction?
and inform them, and I'm going to say, I think if someone were to able to see if that little knife is magic, then I would know whether we have to use that particular knife to like leave.
Okay. Did you bring the knife?
No.
Then let's go look at it.
Yeah. I don't want to touch it if I don't have to. It's kind of gross.
So before we leave, though, I think while Steven is away, Stong wants to go over to Caliph, and he sees her like examining that stone hand on the wall, and he says, "I see you take an interest in this. Do you want me to try to take it off the wall?"
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
So you would like to break it off the wall?
If my friend, my friend's interested in something, it could help her studies.
I mean, Kayla would do it herself, but that's not going to happen.
I mean, you could try first, and then if it doesn't work out, then I'll definitely lend you a helping hand. I got your back, friend.
All right. Helping hand.
Okay.
All right. Kayla is going to try and pull one of the stone hands off of the wall.
Make a strength check.
13.
13. Nothing happens.
You haul yourself up and slide down.
All right. Say, well, I gave it a good shot. Let's see what I've got. Maybe I can't do much
lend her
better.
a hand?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so that is a 24.
Oh.
Let me do that. Crunch. Stone
Rogar's like,
pulls
"No,
the black hand off the wall.
Dude.
Dark energy sparks.
Oh,
All the flames start boiling like crazy.
Shit.
This was
And
good.
you hear a loud keening sound that starts spreading through the corridors.
I quickly hand it to Caliph, and I go, "Here you go."
I guess we don't have to
Caliph,
worry
you
about
now
the
have
bowl of blood.
a really, really, really emo torch.
Yes.
Okay.
Does it go back on the wall?
No. Well, I mean, there's nothing to hold it on the wall. It's just you broke it off.
On the ground.
False alarm. Call the Shar security system. Give them your password.
So-
Everything's okay here.
Serge, you're standing there next to the statue. You see purple eyes light in its head, and the keening is coming from its mouth.
Oh, shit. Do I have a rag?
So, did I go with him over there?
Yes, you were there, so
is
you
the-
can see that as well.
Is the knife magic as long as I
No.
Okay.
No silent. Can you silence?
Take the
I
knife
can silence
and
it.
slash something.
Yeah, 'cause if
I'm
you
sure
don't-
Cecilia knows the best place to cut herself to not make too much of a problem.
Yeah, I'm sure she's very good at that. It tends to be just on your thumb.
Cool.
A lot of people like cut their hand, their
That's
palm.
terrible.
That makes no sense. Like that's why would you incapacitate your hand for several weeks?
I definitely wouldn't do my
Because it
thumb. I
looks
do that all the
really
time.
Well, or like one of your fingers or something. But like the palm,
Middle of your palm.
terrible
like,
idea.
Just I don't like thinking about it.
Dong
Like,
standing
Meat
right
of
there.
your thumb, maybe.
Anyway,
I don't know.
you're gonna
Anyway,
cut
little bit of
yourself and
Yeah.
put
See
blood.
if it turns it off.
And Yang Yang, you said Stong is gonna go cast silence.
If what they do doesn't work, then I think he'll
Okay.
arrive by that time.
You know what?
All right.
Solutions come from stacking. Don't want to rely on one thing.
Cecilia, you take 1 point of damage,
Okay.
and you put some blood in the bowl,
Yep.
and the keening quiets down and stops,
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
to be replaced with the sound of boots coming down the hallway
Not
behind
nice.
Definitely holding the scary dagger. We're like, Sturge, put your scary face on. Can you do your thing? Look like the vampire or something.
I'm going to turn myself. No, I can't do the Duchess. She's too short, right?
Yeah.
Well, you could if you want to.
but
You
I-
Do the
didn't
sewer vampire.
see-
They might not know that guy.
I don't think Sturge actually saw the Duchess of Venom, though.
No, you weren't with us.
Everyone else did.
Right. So you guys going to step around the corner? I'm going to shove you guys back around the corner, and I'll.
Well, Stong starts.
And I'll turn into one of the. Shit, they're expecting me to be a doppelganger, so I'm just going to be the Sturge. I'll say.
Okay.
There we go. We'll just go with that. I like it.
So, sure enough, a number of black-robed people, the robes swishing around their bare legs, come through the corridor holding curved knives, and they see you standing there.
Sorry, screwed up. Then I'm going to use my disguise self to turn into the doppelganger. What do you
I see.
when he
I
was
see.
dead?
Okay.
And did you tell me what you were doing, or do I just have to cotton to it based on what you're,
Well, I kind of shoved you guys around the corner and stood-
including me?
Yeah, because
Well,
Oh.
she's the one dressed like the High Priestess of Shar. So, I mean, if you
okay.
want to shove her around the corner, I guess.
No. She's way too important.
All right, so it's the two of you standing there. That's what I interpreted to be the case.
Yeah.
So these cultists pull up short,
Mm.
and they look at you. There are 6 of them,
Mhm.
and they look at you, specifically at Cecilia, and they say, "Oh," and then they bow slightly and say, "We heard a disturbance, Dark One."
Your system seems to be broken. That's very disappointing.
Ah, we shall investigate immediately. Find the wizard. The wizard is indulging in the dark communion. Well, when the dark communion is over, bring the wizard. And the cultist's like, yes, 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 yes. And they look at you adoringly and then say, "Ah, have you come to take part in the dark communion?"
Do I know what the dark communion is?
Make a religion check.
I rolled a 6. I
Oh.
do not know what the dark communion is.
You have no idea.
When is that stop Cecilia in the past?
It's probably not great.
It doesn't sound good. It sounds, and given the hygiene of their door system, I'm not thinking it's going to be great. I'm going to give them a withering look. Like, I can't believe they asked such a dumb question.
Make an intimidation check.
That's That is much better. That is a 25.
Oh yeah,
Whoa.
no, they're like, whoa, we
Slightly
shouldn't have
better.
asked. Shouldn't have asked.
Sometimes you don't have to say anything.
They bow lower.
That's my manager.
One of them says, "Please step on me."
Oh, Dark Communion.
Oh, God.
The Lady of Loss frowns on unnecessary pleasures.
True. The despair is sacred to the lady.
My companion here is returning from a very important quest. And he says that one of his number returned here unauthorized. Where did she go?
The cultists look at each other and they go, what does she mean? One of the doubles has come back. Yeah. One of the faceless ones has returned. And remember, it brought one of the sacrifices. And I'm like, oh, right. The cultists look back up at you and they say, are you here to sacrifice the sacrifice to the lady?
I'm here to consider the sacrifice.
Ah, consider the sacrifice. Of course, of course.
Perhaps it is not ready for the lady.
Oh, perhaps.
I am
perhaps.
screaming internally.
And they look at each other and like, oh, yes, well, good thing the sacrifice hasn't happened yet. And they're like, well, the dark communion has to happen first, obviously. And they look back up at you, eyes wide. Their pupils are totally black, filling their entire irises, right?
Like they're real drugged up, or like they're not all human.
It is very dark, and they are probably on some kind of substance.
Got it.
And they're crazy cultists.
Legit. The other faceless ones are returning shortly. And I'm just going to snap and be like, go and get them to Sturge. I'd give him like a look like.
Yes, Your Highnessness. He goes to get them, and he informs them that they are now to play the doppel versions of themselves. And that Cecilia is uber bluffing the cultists into believing that she is, in fact, a high priestess. And oh yeah, by the way, Artemisia is going to be sacrificed on an altar, and Cecilia is the one who's going to do it.
So, Aaron, would you remind me what Cecilia's deception check is?
My deception is a +8.
Okay. Would you like to go ahead and roll that with advantage, please?
Oh, please don't screw me up, guys.
You're giving Cecilia advantage on deception?
Because she did the very successful intimidation.
Well, I know, I'm just saying, this is going to be like astronomical.
It's a little astronomical. It's a 27.
Oh,
I'm very glad because the other one I rolled was a 4.
Excellent.
It's
All
only
right.
12. I'm a real good liar.
The
But
cultists seem to be taken in by you, and they are waiting on your word.
I'm not getting into that. Not until my faux doppels show up.
Is the torch that we broke off still burning?
Oh yeah, it's a continual flame.
Is there somewhere we can hide it easily?
Bag of holding.
Holding. Is it going to burn everything
I
else?
was going to say.
Only one way to find out.
There's no heat.
Oh my God.
There's not much in there anyways. I don't think we have anything in there right now.
There's no.
Can bags of holding be burned from the inside?
Continual flame does not actually produce any heat, so that's not a concern.
Drop it in there then.
I just opened the mouth for you to drop it in.
Okay. Whoop.
Okay. Now
Flames go out.
Okay, proceed. Kind of gesture
Great.
to the sacrifice.
So the cultists lead you, adoringly bowing, scraping, down the corridor to the large central chamber. You emerge into what appears to be an ancient temple to Shar, hewn out of the bedrock beneath Westgate. It is shaped like a diamond whose 4 corners have been sheared off, north, east, south, and west. The space is roughly 80 feet corner to corner, perhaps 60 feet if you cross wall to wall. Randy has a picture of this as well, I think. Yeah, it looks like that. There are 4 great natural columns about 15 feet from each wall. Though you think they are naturally formed like stalagmites, they almost appear like the twisted, tortured forms of giants holding the ceiling upon their stone shoulders. Columns create a smaller 20-foot by 20-foot space at the room center, in which another statue of Shar, this one 20 whole feet tall, is standing. Though the underground air is already chilly and stale, this chamber feels even colder and full of dread and heavier, like the last breath of the dying. Yet, there are a number of living beings here, a number of cultists who are kneeling, worshiping. Some of them are doing less than PG-13 things. You start to get the sense that maybe this dark communion thing involves is a weird sex thing.
Totally guessed that right off the bat.
I'm going to assume that none
I'm
of them
sure
are
several
enjoying
of
it
you
that
did.
much because Char's got a brand to maintain.
Some people appear to be crying.
Oh,
Some people are shouting in anger and just indulging in very aggressive emotions.
Is that good crying or bad crying?
It's always
Bad. It's always bad crying. Always ugly, ugly, uncomfortable, bad crying.
I'm going to maintain stone face.
There are several cultists in this room that, most of the cultists are just wearing robes, right? You get the sense that they are not wearing anything under those robes, which is confirmed when you come into this room. But there are guards who are wearing chain armor under their robes, who are standing at the corners and near the pillars. They take note of you when you appear.
How many?
There are 2 per pillar, so there are 8.
Can the high priestess order them to take off their chainmail and join in the dark communion?
Are you going to present yourself as the high priestess?
No, like.
I mean, theoretically.
I'm going to continue presenting myself as someone who is way above these guys' pay grade. And just like slow down that for a while. Because if they ask me to do anything specific, we're going to be in trouble because I don't have much of a religion check.
So in each of those 4 corner alcoves, you see a mosaic that decorates the wall above a casket, like a sarcophagus.
I like our little Vanna White over there.
Its colors faded and scattering, with tiles broken and falling down, showing how long it's been there and that it has been neglected. The murals depict some kind of dark story or imagery. It kind of reminds you of seeing the tapestries at the Purple Lady. Although those are much more recently created than these murals, obviously. The caskets are otherwise undisturbed. There's nobody in those alcoves. And the cultists seem to be kind of shying away from them.
Interesting. Do they see magic? They're Shar. Do they see magic?
You do see some magical emanation from the caskets.
Okay. I'm gonna keep that in my back pocket.
It's something magical inside.
Okay.
I figure your magical sight looks like Eagle Vision from a video game. Yeah. Specifically, it's the third eye from Persona 5, where everything kind of goes a little darker, except for important things which glow brightly.
Cool. Oh, think of the one from Red Dead Redemption because I know it better.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Sure. Anything
like
that. It's essentially that kind of sight.
Okay, that's fair.
Are the caskets big enough to hold people?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Each one is probably big enough for an adult humanoid creature.
Vampire.
I'd like to
like a vampire.
Yeah.
Just for example.
For example. Like we've never encountered those with night masks and sharp.
So the cultists They go back to their obeisances to the statue, leaving you to your own business. The guards are watching you, however, not like challenging, but like paying attention to you. The statue in the middle of the chamber, you're all standing in a group. So at first you hadn't really noticed this, but as you're spending more time in the chamber, you realize that the statue always seems to be watching you, regardless of where you are standing. Even if you move apart, the statue seems to be watching anyone who looks at it.
That's creepy. Where's the sacrifice that we were supposed to be brought to? These cultists.
Well, this statue has its two hands out in front of it, kind of low at chest level for most humanoids. And it has a faint smile on its black face and the symbol of Shar on its forehead.
Is it holding something?
Nope. Although its hands are clearly stained with blood.
So Stong would like to examine the statue closer to see if there's any like runes or inscriptions on it. Okay,
make a perception check. And are you trying to do so in an unobtrusive manner?
No, I think I walk up to it like I'm like admiring it, like I'm worshiping it or something.
Okay.
So I got an 18.
Okay. Yes, the statue has a number of runes carved into it. But they are in an ancient script.
Well,
what languages do you read and speak?
My languages are Common and Orc. However, I happen to have
it's neither of
tongue
those.
spell.
Okay.
So I'm going to. I guess it'll cost me my last 3rd level slot. Is it worth it? Is there a check I could use before I use the spell, like religion?
Just to read something? I don't know. I have a feeling if we have 4 caskets in the room, we might need a 3rd level spell.
I agree.
I also wonder if one of us knows.
Tongues doesn't actually give you any ability to read anything. It only allows you to understand any spoken language you hear.
Nobody has comprehend languages.
And speak with anybody.
I'm sorry, I missed. Did we see Artemisia in the room? Is she
no
on an altar or anything? Okay.
There's just a smirky statue.
Just
some vampire casket.
So there are corridors leading away from this room. Randy, you want to show them the picture again?
This is where we came in.
That's right. There's a north corridor and a south corridor.
I'd like to point Caleb to the runes.
Okay. So the guards are now looking very suspicious.
Is there a way I can? Sturge is going to walk up to one of them, acknowledging, their suspicion. And he's going to imitate the voice of the doppelganger he's heard speaking in its natural form, which he's good at.
I don't know if you ever heard the doppelganger speaking in its natural form.
Was Doppelstong always Stong?
You did hear Doppelstong speaking in its natural form.
Yeah.
So you want to imitate that voice?
Yeah.
Okay. It's this kind of droning buzz.
Okay.
Yeah.
This one is legit. You don't need to worry about her. I see your attention and I compliment you on your assiduous attention, but for God's sake, don't piss her off.
Okay, make a deception check.
Not a performance check?
No.
No. Oh, God.
I don't know. You're pretty good at deception, I think.
Oh,
it's a natural 20.
Oh, nice.
So what result does that get you? Remember that natural 20 is not an automatic success.
26.
So what is your result?
26.
26.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, okay. The guard's like, just kind of nods to you and then goes back to assume their guard duties over the orgy that's going on.
Nobody's having too much fun.
Oh no.
Right.
So whatever the cultists are doing, I feel like I need to do a sort of classy, not too into it version of that. So it looks like I care, but I don't need to grovel.
So you're like, are you like walking around inspecting what's happening?
No, do they not go up to the statue and start like...
A lot of them are just kind of doing a thing whilst looking at the statue.
Oh, gotcha.
Or directing their energies toward the statue.
Gotcha. Okay, the ones that let us in, which one looks the scaredest? That one I would like to grab.
Make an insight check. Yeah, Rogar's having an existential crisis right now.
I rolled a 10.
Because this is actually like a perversion of one of our most holiest rites.
It really is. What did you get, Aaron?
I only rolled 10.
You got a 10. Okay. You can't tell, so you just kind of grab one at random.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, the cultist looks up at you and he goes,
I believe I told you to bring me to the sacrifice so that I may make sure it is correct for the lady.
You don't put that in the... No,
make another deception check. or intimidation. Deception or intimidation.
Rogar, are you critiquing?
18? Okay.
I'm holding it in.
Either way.
Yeah, most of those cultists are not doing those things the way Rogar has at all learned to do those things at all. Like none of this is in Happy Earthquakes. None of it.
Yeah. None of it.
Well, some of it, but not much of it.
Maybe that, but in a happy way.
Yeah.
Definitely not that.
All right. Oh boy. Okay. Cecilia.
Yes.
So the cultist, did you do intimidate or deception?
Let's say I did intimidate.
Okay. The cultist is suitably cowed and says, yes, follow me, dark lady.
Okay. And then I'm gonna snap at my doppelgangers here because I don't want to follow this guy alone. But one hand on my ritual dagger, I'm going to follow. I'm not going to look back to make sure you guys are following me, so you better be paying attention. But if I look back, that will make me look weak.
Yeah.
Can't look weak in front of the Sharans.
Okay. So the cultist starts leading you toward the south passage. As the cultist is leading you away, you hear a loud voice from the north passage that you recognize.
Oh no.
And it says, how dare you treat me like this? Do you not understand? And it is definitely Marcelea's voice.
Interesting.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, if that's the sacrifice, wait, we gotta reconsider what we're,
It's not the corridor. That's not the corridor the cultist is leading her to, though.
Did it say to the cultist, what was that?
Oh, that is the prisoner. She has been very difficult, and the master is with her now, I believe.
So she's not our problem.
She's not involved in the ritual. No. She's not part of the dark communion.
Mm-hmm.
Won't the dark lady participate in the dark communion?
I'm giving him another withering look.
Of course. Come, follow.
Are you guys behind me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, did you all went along
as quickly as I can?
Oh, for sure.
You all heard that shout, by the way. So if any of you want to break off and head that way, split the party. It's up to you.
Torn. Artemisia's gonna be real mad if we don't save her, but she's gonna be real dead if we don't save her. She's gonna be real mad if we don't save Marcy. She's gonna be real dead if we don't save Artemisia.
Well, they called her prisoner, not sacrifice. So she's safe for now, right?
Hey,
Sit
priorities.
tight for a second. Plus, we get Artemisia back. We get, the second best lightning spell in the party.
So
She's not here to defend herself.
Maybe it's more powerful, but it doesn't persist.
No one's keeping track.
Cost so much though. Yours are free, but
That one, that's one of my spell slots. But
okay.
Anyway,
so
no talk side.
You get down into the southern chamber, where you see. Hold on one second. All right. This 50-foot by 50-foot room is draped in faded purple and black tapestries, and set with faded, chipped and very, very old finery, chairs, tables, and other pieces of furniture. The floor is covered in what looks like a very old, somewhat withered carpet, like a real big rug that is purple and red, and has little touches of golden thread that shine up from the otherwise mostly bleak coloration. That is also clearly stained with blood from many, many, many long years ago. And you see that there are a number of cultists in this room. There are 2 more guards at the edges of the corridor that you just came through into the room. And there are a number of night masks. You recognize the type, kind of lithe warrior types, and they're wearing the black masks. And in the center of the room, there is a table set up in some kind of gruesome parody of a tea party. And there you see Artemisia sitting there, obviously bruised and shaken. Her hair is slightly out of place and frizzy, but she is alive and still conscious. Facing toward you as you enter, and across from her, so with her back to you, is sitting a woman, a dark-haired woman of medium height, slender build, and very, very black, dark hair that hangs to the middle of her back.
Oh dear.
Dressed in purple and black clerical robes. And Artemisia is looking over at you. And let's see, how well does Artemisia? Can you all not hear me? Is that what's going on?
No. Kalis is doing what Kalis would do, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Artemisia
Don't react!
is going to make a roll to avoid reacting. Here we go. Oh, okay. Artemisia maintains her composure quite well. She looks up, sees you, and just like her eyes just slide past you with almost no hesitation of any kind.
Nice.
Did the other lady hear us come in?
Oh, it seems so. That woman stands up and turns to you, and for a second, you're almost expecting it to be Illyra for some reason, but it's not. It is a human woman of a medium height. She has, like I said, the black hair and violet eyes, which are red lines and obviously perpetually tired looking. She has high cheekbones. She was obviously once very, very beautiful, but turning into a vampire appears to have sapped her face of its natural regal coloration.
Face.
Just toss.
Oh,
that
you
right
can
out there.
tell that she's a vampire because she has long incisors, and she has long fang teeth, right? And she's like, She tilts her head a little too far to one side, looking at Cecilia, and she says, "And who are you supposed to be?"
I should have come up with a Sharon. Man, the only Sharon.
What you got, con artist?
The only Sharon character I wrote, and I would totally do it, is the nameless one, except she has no name, and so maybe I do that. Maybe I just kind of go, okay, Sharons are very into loss and nothing matters, and nihilism, except you don't have that word in the Forgotten Realms. So I say, I've given my name to the lady.
Stephen, we can't hear you.
Oh, wait. Stephen? Can't hear Stephen? Okay. That's fine. He needs to not interrupt while I'm cleaning this garbage up.
Okay.
That's what I'm gonna tell her. I'm giving my name to the lady.
Make a deception check.
That is a 21.
Woo.
Okay.
Yeah. Hook, line, and sinker. Come on.
Hardcore zealot priestess. That's what's going on.
If it looks like she's not believing you, we'll just really quick.
I'm ready for any of you to do that.
Yeah, can we be ready to, if she looks like
although there's
just
two,
run her through.
We've got a vampire, 2 guards, and a number of cultists that I'm not able to count because I am not relinquishing eye contact. And is Artemisia restrained? Unclear. I assume so because she hasn't blasted everybody, but
she does seem to be restrained in that she's not moving. Like she's just sitting there, like her eyes move and her face can move slightly, but she's not moving her whole body.
Got it.
You suspect that she is restrained magically in some way.
Who has to spell magic?
Not I.
Do actually, I think. I've never used it. I do.
Worst comes to worst, I can put her on a floating disc and we can just cart.
I'm hesitant
Right.
to use
So-
it because once I use it, the jig is up, right?
So
That's true.
you said you had given your name to the lady.
Yep.
So the woman, her mouth kind of quirks a little bit, and she says, such devotion our mistress well deserves, such sacrifices. I am the Duchess of Darkness. Welcome. It is so good to have a foreign priestess of Our Lady of Loss here among us.
All lands are Shar's lands. Everything is nothing.
Everything is nothing, indeed.
Ooh, nice.
I was told
Burning
that these
hellfire.
faceless ones have brought a sacrifice that you have deemed good enough for the Lady of Loss
Indeed.
in this
She
great time of hers.
casually gestures over to Artemisia,
I
Who
look
is-
unimpressed.
doing a fairly good job, not looking freaked out.
If I may, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Sturge was just going to perform a silent bow to the lady and continue into the room as if this was natural because she knows who I am and I know who she was.
She holds up a hand to
All right.
prompt you to stop.
Okay.
She says you can leave your pets out in the hall.
Ooh.
Hmm.
Unless you are concerned that danger lurks here for you.
Danger lurks for all of us. There's darkness in every heart. Also, I do not trust them wandering around.
Shall I have them killed for you then?
They have a purpose.
If you cannot trust your tools, they do not serve any useful purpose.
Trust is a weakness in the eyes of the lady. We are all temporary.
Won't you have a seat? She gestures to the table.
Sturge is going to.
And now she's ceased to pay any attention to the doppelganger.
That's fine. That's fine. I don't think she should pay attention.
Okay,
to them.
she'll keep going then. Sturge will keep going. He just wants to get around to where Artemisia is, and see if she's bound or how she's bound.
She is okay. So her hand, neither her hands nor her ankles are bound to anything.
Mm-hmm.
She appears to be just sitting straight up in the chair, like her body is just frozen. She looks over at you, like, right, like, but is keeping it cool.
Is she like paralyzed? Is that what it looks like?
Yes, it looks like. Well, you've seen her cast hold person on people before.
Yeah.
She seems to be imprisoned by a hold person spell.
This is what you're offering.
This merchant noble daughter from a distant land, Aglarond, in fact. I suspect you are familiar with it.
We can all read maps. You don't have to try and show off.
That is a Rashemi accent, is it not?
I'm just going to give her the most tired, like, my God, you were such a baby at this. Look. And
All right, so you are now going to do an opposed intimidate check. We go.
Please.
Cecilia.
She didn't roll super well, so
That's good. Because I did roll well. I got a 25.
okay. All right, she lets it pass. You have won that power play.
I don't think this is going to last too long.
Yeah. Do you sit at the table?
I'm going to stand at the table behind the chair and just look at Artemisia like I've been offered this terrible plate of food, like it's an airplane dinner at a buffet. And I'm going to
The Duchess keeps her eye on you.
So is there any way the Sturge can't help her, can he? Artemisia.
You all need to get ready to stab this vampire.
I mean, it is a magical effect.
Yeah.
I'm going to suggest that she looks, I don't know how you choose to do things here, but where I come from, Shar prefers her offerings to be a little less chipper than this. She seems to just be waiting. You haven't broken her. She doesn't seem the least bit despondent.
Okay.
Sturge,
make another opposed intimidate check with her.
Please be ready to stab
I have
her.
to say, you're really getting into the mindset of Shar, though. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Cecilia has okay, wait. 23.
Ooh.
Wait. Yeah, 23.
The Duchess says, "Oh, you speak wise words. Do you wish to show us then? Demonstrate how it is done, how a creature like this is broken."
Well, to begin
I
with,
shall watch. She pours herself very red wine into a crystal glass.
I say, mistress, if I may, in infiltrating their lives.
You may not.
Okay.
Excuse me, I don't think he was talking to you.
I don't care.
The lady frowns on this sort of pleasure. I'm just saying.
The one thing that seemed to make her most despondent was her stepmother. Being in the presence of her stepmother seemed to make her the most miserable I had ever seen.
Her stepmother.
The
Duchess focuses on Rogar.
Mm-hmm.
Say on.
Oh no.
Say on.
Well, this is just what I heard.
She has a stepmother. She is the
She has a
prisoner of the
stepmother.
master. She's hollering on the other side.
The Duchess looks at a nearby cultist who blanches. Like, all right. I mean, she had said something of that nature, and the Duchess like extends a hand toward this cultist, and he just falls over dead.
Yes, one down. She's just
she's used one of her spell slots. Yes,
got rid of a cultist. That one can't hurt us anymore.
Oh man, keep blaming the other cultists too. Just in a circle.
You should hear what those guards say about you.
Would you like to die next, little faceless creature?
Oh no, mister, no. Forgive me.
I must say, your pets speak out of place, dark lady who has given her name to the goddess. Would you reprimand them?
They aren't very useful to me if they're broken like that.
Yes, but surely a certain amount of pain won't break them. Or are you using to be merciful?
It sure seems like you are using the lady as a mask for your own pleasure. You should embrace your suffering and swallow it like the boy. Now, this one.
She stands up and hurls the table out of the way. She flips the table out of the way.
This is only gonna last forever.
Stom would like to
and hisses at you.
I'm gonna really, really not make any faces.
I would like to make a sneak attack.
Oh, okay. You're gonna attack. Initiative. That's good because she was coming to attack Cecilia right
yeah.
Can we roll initiative?
Yes.
All right.
Roll initiative.
So
I knew it was gonna fail me.
Preparing to stab her. Does that still hold?
If you were preparing for a battle, right? So this doesn't apply to Cecilia, for instance. It doesn't apply to Rogar because you were actually just interacting with her. But the others of you, if you were sort of preparing for this fight, you can have an advantage on your initiative check.
Well, I can't roll any better. I always blow my natural 20s on initiative.
Yeah, I got a dirty 20, so I'm pretty happy with it.
I got a 3.
No.
I got another dirty 20.
Oh,
actually, I did notice I have this when I was searching for another 20. Should I use it?
Nice.
You can.
Should I use it, team?
For what?
For reroll, it's inspiration coin.
Your initiative?
Yeah.
I
will just keep it. Cool.
No, save it.
I'll just see how long I can keep this.
For something real epic.
Eric, was there? I kept trying to interject, but the conversation was so good it was hard to do.
Yeah.
I was hoping to get a surprise round on her.
There's no such thing as a surprise round.
I know. I was hoping to get her in the.
You're hoping to catch her by surprise.
Yes.
You did not catch her by surprise.
Okay.
You say it really confidently. He might be like, that sounds right.
Don't you remember the surprise round? That's a rule.
Okay.
DM are
I thought you were a DM.
Caliph. Initiative.
Sorry.
15?
19.
19.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
Sturge.
Yes. 10.
10. Okay.
I'm gonna give
Cecilia.
3.
3. Cecilia was very committed to this bit.
Is that with advantage? Didn't he say roll with advantage?
I didn't get
not for her
because I was focusing on being
Who
the
else
nameless
had
one.
advantage? Did I have advantage?
You had advantage. Everybody else was prepared.
Oh, okay.
Well, you were kind of interceding because you were getting over toward Artemisia. So no, you weren't really preparing for the fight exactly. It would just be Stong and Caliph that had advantage on this roll.
Okay.
So Stong, what did you get?
23.
Oh, nice.
Hit the vampire.
And Rogar?
20.
20. Okay, cool. All right. So Stong, you get the drop on all of them.
Okay. How big is this room?
50 foot by 50 foot, I believe.
Is there some sort of like cage or like actual restraining device in here?
There are, well, when I said there were pieces of furniture, I should have been more specific that they are pieces of torture equipment.
Is there like an Iron Maiden?
Iron Maiden.
Yes.
Okay, can I
Don't
just
rely
throw out
on
there
me,
really quick before we
specificity.
dive in? Like, might be a good time for a break. It's 8 o'clock. Just
Yeah, this is a good time for us to take our break, in fact.
because I imagine the
Right.
combat might make
So,
some time.
so I got the initiative. So we're going to start in on the fight as soon as we get back.
So ready.
So we're going to do our interview +1 again, which is just going to include me and one other person. Does that seem reasonable that we should do that way?
Sure. Yeah.
So
I have
mods.
this amazing dinner I want to eat.
So don't vote Steven. So
All right. So mods,
Totally
do
vote
a
Steven.
do a poll with Emily, Aaron, Yang Yang, and Randy, and then whoever wins that poll is going to join me for the little interview part, which is going to take place in 5 or 8 minutes or so. And then we'll answer some questions, and then we will get back into the whole group of everybody.
And fight the vampire.
It might be easier graphically for our Gen Con hosts for them not to have to do all of the mechanics of putting back our screens. So just leave your feed on, and if you come back during the interview part, that's fine. Otherwise, we'll see you in just a couple minutes.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Welcome back after that brief break. Aaron won the poll, so we're doing the interview +1 with Aaron. Some of the other people are here, but they are muted because they're still taking their break. But you can see them emote, and if they wish to heckle us, that is also okay too. You asked a bunch of questions, so I'm just going to get right into it. Most of them are for Aaron, which is good because Aaron
I'm
did win the
here.
poll. Yeah.
Like,
All right. So first off is a mechanical question from Hostile Eldritch. Great name. Why did you take the blade for your pact boon, since Cecilia mostly ends up casting from afar?
Because I'd never pick anything for mechanical reasons. I picked this Pact of the Blade for Cecilia because she comes from Rashomon. She comes from a very strong warrior culture. So I think there is something baked into her that you fight things in melee. It just so happens it's way more satisfying to blast things with lightning from a distance
Pew pew pew.
than to, do the other thing. But she has pulled out her Pact Blade once or twice. Maybe I should just do that more. Especially if Artemisia is going to horn in on the lightning thing.
Do you think that could ever be a thing that happens with Sarshan, since Sarshan is such a melee fighter? Like maybe
Did I pull out my Pact Blade when Sarshan's fighting next to me?
Yeah, like you could fight, in melee together. He could maybe show you some melee stuff, and you could show him some blaster stuff.
See, the problem is Cecilia is not good at not being good at things. She does not know how to show weakness safely. So I think it's hard for her to ask Sarshan for help, even though she probably could use some pointers.
Okay, I guess we'll see where it goes. Okay, a question slightly about outside the stream. What are we both working on that we can tell everyone about? Aaron, you want to go first?
I'm working on revising a novel. I recently signed with an agent, so this is hopefully the last pass on this before it goes out and tries to become its own thing. It is, I think Realms fans will like it. It is a secondary, so it's a fantasy set in an invented world, a secondary fantasy that is also a murder mystery, and it takes place in a sort of super melting pot empire where this great catastrophe has befallen most of the world. These creatures actually are kind of like doppelgangers. They're sort of shape changers, appeared all over and caused chaos and made all these civilizations fall. And the remnants of the civilizations kind of ran and ended up on this sort of peninsula and formed this empire of many smaller protectorates. So it's got a lot of cool world building lore, I think. And I hope you guys will get to read it soon. Maybe forever from now with all this pandemic stuff.
That is true. I am writing a story in the Basil and Mobius IP. For those of you who have read any of that stuff, it is a kind of neo-noir pulp. Like, what if James Bond and Indiana Jones teamed up and went on Lovecraftian adventures? So I'm writing a novella which spans time. The two of them are the modern operatives, and then there's also the kind of like 13th century operatives who have certain similarities and crossovers with them. So it happens in two timelines, but there's one character who is native to both timelines. And so it's just really neat putting that all together. And I think it's going to be really good when I finally get it finished, which I'm hoping will be by the end of this month.
This is a thing I find funny. I still, when I describe things I'm working on, I have a tendency to talk about the setting because I'm so used to that. And you're like, oh yeah, your characters. That's the actual important part.
That's true. Well, I mean, your like setting is real too. Yeah.
They're like magical librarians, like archivists. And then there's this guy who's a kind of like a monk law clerk, and his friend kills some people, but his friend never would have done that. And so they don't know what happened. Mysteries.
Intriguing.
In the past.
All right, let's go to another question. Okay, the relationship between Shar and Sharess, and if they are the same. Well, okay. So, and Aaron, this is mostly aimed at me, I guess, but Aaron, you should chime in too if you like.
I have feelings about Shar, but I don't have feelings about this particular question.
So Shar is the goddess of loss and despair and the heat death of the universe, is how I described it before. Sharess is the Faerunian version of Bast, the cat goddess of sensuality, love, sex, all that kind of stuff. And Sharess at one time came under the sway of Shar. Perhaps she was real depressed for a while, but she was rescued from being under Shar's sway. And that is why she maintains that name and has that connection, but she's not actually associated with Shar anymore. That's my understanding from the canon without actually looking it up. But yeah, there's a lot that you can find about Shar and Sharess and the struggle for her sensual soul online. If you get a conversation with Ed, he will talk to you all day about this. So look forward to that. Okay, next question from Valen Fraynor, who asked the question about Sharess. Aaron.
Yes.
Oh, I apologize in advance. This is one of those hard questions. Whom do you like more, Frida or Havilar? Go.
No. They're both my babies.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're so for people who haven't read my novels, they center on a pair of twin tieflings, Frida and Havilar. They're mostly about Frida. Frida is the sort of, she's the careful one, and Havilar is the sort of adventurous one. But they exist very much the way that siblings sometimes do, where one of you starts to develop an identity and the other one develops an identity in response to that. And the books take place as they sort of move from being teenagers to being adults, and how do you redefine yourself as you move away from your family of origin. So I think that I love them both in different ways. I think Havilar is a very special sort of fun to write because she is a character who just sort of like talks without thinking about it so much, whereas Frida is very careful with what she says unless she's really mad. Havilar gets to say a lot of ridiculous things, and like, what's the consequence of that? She doesn't care. So it's very fun. I like writing Havilar.
Yep. Okay. Question for Aaron again. Does Cecilia have a deity? And have you considered Talos?
Cecilia very devoutly worships the Rashomon gods, for sure. Definitely.
Very devoutly. Have
Privately.
you ever been to Rashomon? Oh,
Yeah.
You haven't? Oh,
No.
wow.
For all you know, this is exactly how you do it. I don't know that Cecilia is someone who is particularly devout in general. But.
Well, every character in the realms kind of has a patron deity, whether they know
She's
it
got
or
time.
not.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
And
no, except for, like,
Cecilia's patron deity has not been identified or revealed yet. Maybe if she were to perish unexpectedly, she might meet her patron deity and find that it is not someone she expected or has even heard of.
It's future Cecilia's problem, basically.
It is.
And in the meantime, there's always a deity I can introduce you to.
See, I'm covered. Sharindlar will pick up the slack at the end.
All right. And here's the question I knew Aaron was going to like the most.
What?
So I'm trying to roll up a tiefling that is chaotic good, but also has an infernal pact with the devil. As a player, how do I justify being chaotic good and having an infernal pact?
Here's the answer. What you do with the pact is more important than the pact itself. Brimstone Angels is about Frida, who I have always statted as neutral good, because I think she wants to follow the rules, but sometimes rules are wrong. But mostly she is good. Like, that is the core. I will quibble a lot about alignments, and if you start me on it, I really will. But she is good, and she always uses those powers to help people. And when she will harm herself doing that, she will take the blame doing that, but she will still get it done. And then on the flip side, why does the devil make a pact with a good character? Devils have a long view. They don't care about every single thing they do being wicked and bad and mean. They're not short-sighted. If you want short-sighted, go to the demons. Devils have a plan. And so sometimes your plans just align. Sometimes you just both get what you want. And isn't that great? Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that what everybody really wants? Which is why I would also posit that Asmodeus should be selling himself as the god of happiness. He just wants everybody to be happy.
That's right.
Do what they want.
That's right.
And so your character making an infernal pact doesn't have to be, I sell my soul to the devil. It can be, I make an agreement, a working partnership with someone who is going to get me the power away from the evil people to do good. I can absolutely do that. For Farida, the pact, Farida's pact master, there is definitely a romantic element there, but fundamentally at the core of it, she takes that pact because it means she can protect her sister. She can protect the people she loves, and she can protect herself in a world that she does not trust to take care of her. So that's, I think the end result is like, it's not the pact, it's what you do with it. And devils, I take the long view. Sometimes they do good things because something evil down the line happens because you did those good things.
You might come into conflict with your devil patron, but it won't be today. Yeah. And it won't be tomorrow. And also, it will probably be at the worst time for you.
Your DM's like, do this. Yo, if you want more examples, read the Brimstone Angel Saga.
Absolutely. All right. And I think with that, we're ready to get going again.
Ready for me to die by vampire.
If everyone's back, I will set the scene again, and then we'll launch right into it. Again, you're in a 50-foot by 50-foot room full of antique furniture, worn tapestries, carpets, torture equipment, that sort of thing. 2 guards in chainmail flank the door behind you, and the Duchess of Darkness, a spell-casting vampire, faces off against Cecilia in the center of the room, as Artemisia sits bound by magic. Stong, you won initiative with a 23. You act first. There are other cultists, but they run panicked from the room.
Oh, good.
Ooh, okay. Well, I'm afraid they're going to summon more people, but I guess...
what? That's future Stong's problem.
Yeah. So...
like round 3 Stong's problem.
So how far is this vampire from the Iron Maiden?
From the nearest torture device from the nearest Iron Maiden. She's maybe 25 feet. She's in the center of the room, and that stuff is clustered on the edges.
25 feet. Okay. And then once again, just to set the scene, it is her plus how many guards?
2 guards.
Is one of the guards closer to the Iron Maiden?
They're at the entrance to the room, which is on the opposite side of the room from the Iron Maiden. So they're like 40, 50 feet away from it. So no one is close to the Iron Maiden. The closest person to the Iron Maiden is Artemisia, actually.
Grab the
Darn.
Iron Maiden and throw it at them.
Yeah,
and
that's step 2.
Cecilia, who I believe is standing right behind Artemisia.
Don't throw it at me.
Cecilia wants to bring the ACDC.
Not a good plan. Not a good plan. Okay, so I think just turn 1, I am going to charge at this, vampire and just attack her.
Right. Go ahead.
That
Go
is
ahead and
going
roll.
to be a 13 plus 9.
Don't forget you get
22.
an extra D4 on your attacks or whatever too.
Did you bless me? Oh, you blessed
Yeah,
the whole party? Okay.
Bless you.
So we're 2.
Oh no, I'm sorry. My mistake. I think I blessed Cecilia, Caliph, and Sturge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe so. Everyone except Stone.
Everybody except for Storm.
But it's okay. He still has a smile on his face and he charges on.
Because I have faith in you. And
Yeah. So does a 22 hit?
Please.
I mean, you don't have faith in the rest of us.
Oh.
I mean, fair point.
No,
That
that's
is
not what I
going
meant.
to be,
What are you
that is going to
attacking
be,
with?
A longsword plus 1.
Okay.
So that's going to be 18 damage.
Okay.
Ooh, ow.
Rush
Okay,
it, just
your
stab
sword,
her.
she puts up her arm, your sword kind of bites into it, and then she throws it back off. Like you did do damage to her, but not significant damage to her.
Mhm.
Where's the table now?
In shards by the side of the room. She hurled it all the way against the side wall.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Rogar, your turn.
I cast Dispel Magic on Artemisia.
Okay.
Let's see. Any spell 3rd level or lower ends, and 4th level or up, it's versus DC 10 plus the spell level.
Okay, you automatically break the spell.
Oh, excellent.
It is 3rd level or lower.
Perfect.
Okay. I will go ahead and add Artemisia into the initiative order. She will not act until next round, however.
Okay.
Okay. Caliph.
Question.
So Artemisia collapses out of the chair, panting, gasping, and heaving like like she's obviously been psychologically tormented for a while. And she wasn't able to express it. Right.
Artemisia.
All right, Emily, what was your question?
So about blade singing. Normally to activate the blade singer powers, Caliph would have to sing. She doesn't really want to sing right now to attract too much attention. Can she hum?
The combat is going to attract a lot of attention anyway.
The vampire throwing tables has already destroyed any stealth we had.
Could she
Because she's
whistle
going to break out
casually?
a glorious song. Something.
Okay.
Please don't knock me unconscious again.
Make it sound angelic. Maybe it will scare her.
I'm squishy. So very squishy. Please don't hit me. Except that it's in Elvish and it sounds much more beautiful.
Yeah, you don't hear that. She's basically just going, oh god, I hate this.
Okay. Your blade singing is active. I believe it's a bonus action to activate that, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And then
What do
she-
you do with your regular action?
Hold person.
Hold person
Vampire.
on the vampire?
Yep.
Does hold person affect undead creatures?
Actually, I have no idea. Probably shouldn't
Try
try something else because
probably
that
does
smile
not. Is what I'm
probably does
saying.
Try Vampiric Touch on the vampire. No, I'm just kidding.
I think you've tried to hold person and undead creature before, and it has not worked out.
That's right. All right, she's going to try to shatter the vampire.
Nice.
All right.
We'll all be deaf at the end, but we'll be amazed.
You can aim your shatter to hit the vampire and Stong and Artemisia. Or you can aim your shatter to hit the vampire, Artemisia, and Cecilia. You don't think you can aim it to avoid hitting at least one of your allies.
I turn my head to make eye contact with Caleb again. Give her a nod.
You know what's coming.
It's
one
the
of
nod.
Shatter or it's Vampire Touch.
Or burning hands.
That's right. I forgot that one.
Ooh, burning hands.
Okay.
Can she like well, first of all, can she maneuver around to like so that she's facing the vampire and then the wall so that it'll splash against the wall and not hit anyone else?
It's a radius, like a fireball. So it's not like a cone of bursting sound.
Oh wait, for some reason I wrote a 15-foot cone.
I'm not sure why you did that.
Burning hands. Is that what you're talking about, Eric? She switched to ask
that's
about
what.
burning hands.
Oh, she switched to ask about burning hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can if you get right up to the vampire.
Do it.
Right up to her. You could do burning hands and not hit anyone other than her.
This doesn't sound like a good idea.
Everything is a good idea. This is the actual credo of Cecilia. It's not everything is nothing. It's everything.
There are 2 guards behind us that are.
Oh wait, I thought
At
the
the
guards.
doorway.
They haven't
cultists ran.
acted yet. They're standing by the doorway.
Cool. Can I hit them both with a whole person?
Yes.
All right, gonna hit both the guards with a whole person instead then.
Okay.
Gonna get eaten.
Safe option.
What's their DC?
15.
Okay, one of them succeeded. The other is frozen in place.
Okay, and then can I still move? Is there somewhere I can safely retreat to be out of like combat danger?
Yeah, you can go chill by the torture devices there.
Cool. I'm gonna go stand next to the Iron Maiden guys.
Okay.
Okay. There's a faint metal song that starts playing from the Iron Maiden. Okay. It is the Duchess's turn.
Oh no.
Man.
Yeah. It's not great. Okay. Yep. So she casts a spell and turns and just disappears.
Does she get to do that without my reaction?
Yeah.
Damn it. Okay. You win this time, Duchess.
I counterspell her.
What about the surprise turn?
You can try and cast counterspell if you have
Yes.
if you have a spell slot and know that spell, which I guess you do.
And I do.
Excellent.
it.
Nice.
Okay, so
Ruin her day.
Oh no, you don't.
what level of spell is that?
It's a 4th level spell, so
okay,
make a check.
Yeah, it's 14.
Yep,
Do I make the check?
you do. Add
Do I
your
add-
spellcasting ability modifier.
I've never gotten to use this before. I'm so excited.
Cecilia.
19.
All right.
Nice.
You countered her greater invisibility spell.
I hope that was worth the spell slot.
She does not look pleased about that.
She starts to
Nice, that was
fade, but then
totally-
snaps back.
Does she look embarrassed? I hope she does.
No. She just looks unhappy.
Go after Cecilia next.
Well, she opens her mouth wider than it probably should open and screams this loud echoing dark sound, and the lights in the room start dimming.
Oh dear.
It is now dim illumination in here, which is not a problem for all of you. It's a problem for one of you. And also you see bats and scurrying vermin come out of the darkness and the shadows all around the room.
Called sleep rats. No.
Can I be speech to tell them to go away?
Yeah.
Sturge, your turn.
From where how far away am I from her?
You are 10 feet from her. You were standing on the other side of Artemisia.
And could I back up 10 feet? And how far away is Artemisia from her?
Artemisia is 5 feet away from her, like within melee range of her. You can drag Artemisia away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I will. I'm going to drag her away.
Okay.
I need to get 20 feet so that we're 20 feet away.
Okay. Artemisia is quite willowy and light. So, yeah, you just kind of like pick her up and haul her away.
Okay.
That potion of heroism that you drank like episodes ago, like that's been lasting this whole time. This is like a new Sturge. Are we sure we have the real Sturge with us?
This is not.
I like this one.
It is.
Yeah.
I don't think he drank that potion.
So that just uses movement of mine to do that, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then I'm going to cast Fairy Fire. So that the 20-foot cube only.
No, your friends are surrounding her. There's no way that you can hit her with an area of effect spell and only hit her.
What if I turn the cube this way so that the pointy end only goes over?
No, your friends are surrounding her.
Hey, Stong turns to you and he gives you a nod.
No, it's okay. I'm going to do a bonfire right under the vampire.
What?
Nice.
What does that mean exactly?
Well, create bonfire. It's
okay.
We're all cozy and toasty.
I mean, I need the light anyway, so I might as well put it where she is. And
yeah,
it's a 13 dex save.
Okay.
And if she fails it, she takes 1d8. Otherwise, she, moves to a different square.
I cast Make S'mores. Cantrip.
Sure enough. Okay.
It's a real spell.
It's a real spell. All right, here we go. I was just double checking to make sure I knew what you were talking. Okay, she nimbly moves out of the way of the bonfire.
Right. Okay.
Now there's a bonfire in the middle of the room.
Oh man, I bust out my lute and start singing songs.
Okay.
I also. So you said I was 10 feet away from her. That's or now I'm 20. Sorry, 10 feet away. So I'm just going to. Is there any possibility of hiding?
There are numerous pieces of torture equipment all around the room. You can hide behind or in one of them. Yes.
I want to hide behind one that's very close to her.
Okay.
Is that possible? Is there one?
Well, I mean, they're all kind of toward the edges of the room, like in the 10 feet out from the wall.
How far away from her?
Well, it's a 50 by 50 room, and she's basically in the center of the room.
I'll just stay where I am, and yeah.
Okay. If anyone's having haunting ground flashbacks, it's that, like, oh, I'm going to hide from the big monster inside the Iron Maiden. That's a good plan. Okay.
I'll get inside the Iron Maiden.
This reminds me of my high school days in a bad way.
That was kind of an obscure reference that I just made. Anyway, so it's the guards' turn. What they are going to do is come toward you. Well, both of them were trying to, and one is frozen in place. The other guard is going to rush over and attack Caliph.
I got away from them. I specifically got away from them.
Where did you go? Did you go to the other side of the room, like where Sturge is?
Yeah, I'm right. I'm next to the Iron Maiden. I was
all right. Well, then that guard is just going to attack Stong, who is the closest person.
Okay.
Me?
I guess that's better, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fine. I turn to the guard and I look at him and I go,
"Let's do
it." You give him the
giving
nod.
everybody significant nods.
Yeah.
Okay. His first attack kind of faltered because he was not expecting that very fierce look. His second attack, though,
oh man,
with his rapier is gonna hit you. That is going to do 14 points of damage.
14 with a rapier? My God.
Well, he stabbed you in a very sensitive spot
Not
with
my
his
kidney
sneak attack.
again.
Oh, no.
Why does everybody gotta go after my kidney?
The other guard is frozen and does not act. The cultists have fled screaming from the room. Cecilia's turn.
Okay. How far away is the vampire? The Duchess?
You are in melee combat with her.
Just figures, doesn't it?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Like
What were
she
we saying
threw
about attack
the
blade?
table aside, stepped forward, and then the battle began. This might be an excellent opportunity to bust out that packed blade
That's
of
what I'm
yours.
wondering. It takes a whole action to just make it. I hate that. But I think
But you
that's
look
what I'm
really
gonna do.
cool while you do it.
That's true. Maybe it will intimidate her. Will it intimidate her?
I know.
I'm thinking it won't. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I guess I'm gonna make my packed blade. So I hold my hand out, and this battle axe
Whoa.
appears.
That's cool.
Whatever.
Excellent.
I'm from Rashomon. That's what we use.
Mhm.
Have the rest of us seen this before?
Yeah,
done that before?
I think so. Did I? When
Once.
Gilra and I were,
We weren't there though.
But
We
you like
weren't.
we were in
protective
Compass.
circle.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Maybe. Probably. Maybe. I don't know.
From the
Maybe.
other side of the vampire, Stong's eyes are gonna go real big.
It shimmers kind of reddish, I think.
Mhm.
And maybe there's a little like of a flinty cave smell, something eerie.
The smell
And
of cold blood.
the secrets of the deep earth. Yeah,
Mhm.
like that. Okay, so I take that action. And is Artemisia out of the way?
Oh yeah, Sturge dragged her out of the way. Hauled her out of the way.
Okay, I guess I shouldn't misty step just yet. Can I use a bonus action to tell the rats to go away?
Mhm.
To tell what to go
The
away?
rats with
The
my
rats?
speech. I
Bats
told
and
them to get the
rats.
F out.
All right.
Make an intimidate check on
Make
the
an
rat.
intimidate check on the hordes of night that the Duchess is summoning.
Well, okay, with my bonus, that's an 11.
Okay.
And
And so I go like, get out of this place. But it sounds like,
Whoa. But what do you actually sound like when you do that?
I mean, it sounds like I'm speaking rat.
Yeah.
Maybe rat with a bat accent. I have to assume they're sort of similar. But I'm not going to push my luck and ask to do it
Bats,
twice. 'Cause I think
bats
they'll
sound French to rats, so
say no.
just like drow sound French to other elves. Anyway,
The things you learn.
hey, that's canonically accurate. Ask Chris Perkins. Anyway, all right. So round 2.
Did anything
Stop.
happen when I told the rats to get out, or do I have to wait for their turn?
They seem to be a little surprised.
Okay, maybe slow them down for a second. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, you aren't sure what they're going to do. Stung.
So is
Never
the
know.
vampire woman in front of me still have her mouth open?
Yes.
I definitely want
It's now drooling black blood all over her.
Punch her in the mouth.
I'm gonna stab her in the mouth. I'm not gonna put my hand in there. Like, here's the snack. Enjoy.
Yeah, her mouth is full of these jagged yellowing teeth, right?
Gross.
Like a shark's mouth.
Super gross.
She doesn't have any like metal jewelry in her face or anything, right?
No.
Darn.
that would be
Okay,
so
I
convenient.
stab her in the face. Not just once, but twice.
Now she has metal
Yeah.
jewelry in her face.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
So the first one is going to be a 17. The second
hits.
attack is going to be a 25.
Those both hit.
Ooh,
Excellent.
nice. You might just take her out all by yourself.
I don't think so.
I mean,
We'll
I'm not
see.
gonna. I feel like she's gonna have a lot more hit points than we expect.
19 damage.
Okay.
So I'm trying to stab her in the mouth, and then if it hits, I'm gonna punch the back of the hilt so that it like shoves back in a little more.
Just like this, just like, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. So you stabbed her going for her mouth, and she jerks aside, and you just hit her in the shoulder, like your blade carves across her shoulder. Blood starts leaking around the sword, but she doesn't seem particularly hurt by it.
Ooh.
And
Was that just one of your hits?
that was
That's
both
two. That's
both of the hits.
Oh, okay.
And at the end of your turn, she is going to punch you.
This will be fun.
Before she does, like he wants to, catch her eyes and just give her a respectful nod because she's real good at taking damage.
Respectful nod. Okay, got it. 20 AC.
20 AC?
I'm going to assume that hits you.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent. Well, she does 10 points of damage to you. Or actually, no, she doesn't do any damage to you. What she does is she grabs your arm and is now holding on to you.
Oh, great. Okay.
Is that grapple?
Yep.
Does that contested by strength?
Well, he
contest
can
now.
attempt to escape from it.
But is that next turn or now?
Oh, no. She did that at the end of your turn.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm.
So it is Rogar's turn.
Wow.
All right. I throw up my hands and I say, "Come, Broomhilda and Edna and Nancy and Flo. Come, Gertrude and Beatrice and Helga and Mo and my spirit guardians appear flowing around me, their braids and beards flowing in the thing like great shining Valkyrie, and any creatures, enemies within 30 feet of me take some damage.
Get her off my arm! Get her off my
They
arm!
make a wisdom save for 1/2. Otherwise, they take...
Okay, so it's her and the guard.
And the rats. Rats and bats.
14.
Well, they're not close enough to be in this effect.
Oh.
Aye. So they take 14 if they're not within 30 feet of me.
They're just at the edges of the room, and you're in the middle of the room.
Aye. Okay.
Well, okay. It's a 30-foot radius of you. Yeah, so I guess it is filling the entire room. Okay. So the rats and bats do attempt to save. They do not succeed.
I'm very scary and rat.
Both the
actually
guard and the Duchess do succeed.
So they take half. So it was 15, so they take half of 15, which is, as we all know, 13.
Okay, so they take 7 points of damage. Okay.
Oh, you know how to do
Valiant
math.
effort.
We'll say the held guard failed his save automatically, so he took the full amount of damage. The rats and bats are essentially a swarm of creatures. And I'm just going to look up their hit points real fast. And in the meantime, it is going to be Kayla's turn.
I think it's 10. I made my kids in their D&D game fight swarms of rats.
It is, in point of fact, 24.
Darn. I thought that would work.
Mhm.
I mean, they did just take a lot of damage. All right. Kaylith, what are you going to do?
Oh, and I have to say also, this is a concentration spell, so it ends the bless. I'm sorry. So
What? Dang it!
I know.
Yep.
It was I had to make a choice.
I was just
Good choice.
thinking,
Good choice.
if I have to use my pack blade, well, at least I have this bless because my attack bonus on the pack blade is not great.
Sorry.
I guess Caleb's gonna try hold person again, just on the other guard.
Isn't hold person also a concentration spell?
Yes, never mind.
Darn it, Eric. It's like you know the rules.
I mean, you
Using it
could do it
against us.
again on both guards, casting it with another third level spell slot.
But then the first one will get another saving throw.
Yeah.
Still, that might be
Try to.
pretty good odds.
I don't want to do any of this. Like, she has lightning lure, which pulls enemies closer to her. It's like, no, that's not what she wants. And then she has all this AoE stuff. All right. Is there an enemy that she can get with Shatter that won't get her?
You could target the swarm of rats.
All right, she's gonna shatter the swarm of rats.
Oh my god, that visual. Oh
Hardcore.
Just like little rat bodies flying everywhere.
Little meat
It's gonna be
pinatas.
gross.
Meat pinatas. So that's a 10-foot sphere. It's a Constitution save.
Oh boy.
Nice.
Ooh, he did not make it.
Nice.
So that is going to be 3d8. 13.
Jeez. Okay. So you actually kill 2 of the swarms
Whoa.
of rats.
Nice.
Oh,
Do it just get like meat goblets?
However, there are 3 swarms of rats. 3 swarms of rats remaining.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
so that was
The
like
vampire summoned 5 swarms of rats.
wow.
You managed to hit 2 of them.
It's like
This is like Rogar's worst nightmare right now.
Feeling
Okay, the vampire is going to pull Stong in and bite him.
awesome.
That's going to be a 22 to hit Stong, which I'm pretty sure hits.
You know, my AC suddenly became a 20. Yeah, it hits him.
Dawn, when you're in there, give her a lick.
Oh, you're so right. First, I want to see how you narrate.
She
this
just-
fight, though.
She pulls you in and bites like just all over your neck
Ew.
and like the bottom half of your face. Like her mouth distends.
So he's getting like the most conspicuous hickey ever.
Oh yeah.
I'm
Well,
gonna say I don't like it. I don't
she's-
like it.
She's planning to tear your head in half with this bite, is what's happening.
Makes sense.
Okay, so that does 10 piercing damage plus
piercing.
11 necrotic damage.
Oh, I am down. No, I'm not down because I'm a half orc. So I'm down to 1.
And that 11 necrotic damage reduces your hit point maximum by 11.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. Let me just do this real quick. Down to 1.
Oh no.
Well,
You're
it
down to one
triggered.
hit point?
Yeah, it triggered my endurance feat,
Yep.
being a half orc. So now I'm at 1 HP. Oh
Okay.
my god, guys.
She seems to be mildly impressed that did not kill you.
Mm.
I just look her in the eyes and say, any chance we could be friends?
Okay, it is Artemisia's turn.
Oh man.
No lick, no lick.
I can't lick her. She's like biting. How am I gonna lick her? Like
She's right
down
here.
here. I'll do it on my turn.
Okay.
I'll do it on my turn.
Okay. So Artemisia is looking around blearily and like so if we're watching this like a film, you see it from her perspective for a second. The world has gone kind of grayish and reddish, and you can hear her heart hammering in her head. And she sees Stong in the grasp of this vampire who's draining his life away. Like his blood is flowing into her mouth and over her body. And Artemisia goes, and she comes forward and she grabs Stong, speaking the words of a spell, and then reality bends and those two disappear leaving a like a crack in reality that's crackling with lightning.
Can we
It's a spell you've never seen her cast.
Ooh.
Can we? Is the crack still open? Can we jump through it?
Yes, that's the question we need
Ooh.
answered right now.
Maybe.
Nice.
Make an Arcana check, Caliph.
A rift in time and space. I hope this leads to the modern world.
I have a dumb question while everybody. Oh, go ahead.
24.
24. That, as near as you can tell, is a dimension door spell that she just cast.
Let's go through it. Let's get out of this place. We have Artemisia.
Well, it's not your turn. It's the vampire's turn.
She's in another dimension.
Didn't it just
Wait,
bite
didn't the
his
vampire
face?
just bite me?
With a legendary action, yes.
Oh, I see.
Oh no!
Yeah, that vampire basically took down Stog with its legendary actions for that round. Now it's the vampire's turn.
I see.
Okay. The vampire, deprived of its prey, turns towards Cecilia, who is now the closest enemy,
Oh, goody.
and says, "False priestess who wears our robes, you shall die next." And she lunges toward you.
This is not
That's going to be a 26 to hit you.
Oh, no. Sorry.
All right, she grabbed you. Okay, Sturge, your turn.
He's going to take. Well, he's got Mr. Whippy in one hand and Mr. Pokey in the other hand.
I should point out Mr. Whippy is the name of his rapier. And Mr. Pokey is the name of his dagger. So the actual metal dagger. All right.
Yes. It's actually it's the dagger with the poison on it from the night mask, the moon lotus poison.
Ooh.
I know it won't work on her, but if one of those guards gets near, you might have a bad day from it.
All right. You only have the one dose left of that poison, by the way. Remember, we talked about this, right?
Oh, I don't remember that. No.
Just the one dose of the poison left.
I think we should all jump through the door.
Is the gate
I mean,
still
hold on,
there?
vampire, so
The gate is still crackling there in the space.
Although
the vampire is standing in front of it holding Cecilia.
Maybe I could just tackle her into the gate.
Oh. There's a thought.
Do it.
You mean the vampire who threw the table 25 feet against the wall? Yeah, go for it, Sturge. Cecilia is in trouble, though.
All right,
you can help her.
Well, I'm gonna.
Or she can escape because you know that she can escape.
I'll try to.
All right, I'll stop giving you hints. Just do what you're gonna do.
just let us be.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay, so there's Caliph.
It's fine.
There's Rogar, and there's Cecilia.
Caliph is going to be running for the door.
Mm-hmm. Well, I can't hold my move, can I? I have to hold my entire.
You can ready an action, or you can delay, which is. I'm not actually sure if that's a real legit 5e roll, but we use it. So
should be. I'm practically the slowest person here. God damn it. Okay, I'm just going to. I'm doing my sneak attack.
On the vampire?
On the vampire.
All right.
And where is it? Mr. Whippy. Natural 20. Oh my God. You can see all of this on Roll20 for yourself. I have gotten 3 at least tonight.
I mean, I want to cheer for you, Steven, but
you rolled a 20?
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I will. I can. How do I show that to you? I don't
I believe you.
Share
it's
screen.
fine.
Share screen.
No, we believe you.
We believe you.
Come on.
Please don't do that. Don't do that.
You'll
You'll break the whole interface.
Okay. Well,
I believe you.
There's
You
a
rolled a
record
20 to use Mr. Whippy.
All right, you hit her. How much damage did you do?
Okay.
Now remember what our house rule for crits is.
Mm-hmm. Oh, here, let me.
I'll explain this to everybody while you're rolling.
Okay, so
you do max damage for your basic attack, and then you roll all of your randomized dice as well. So that's the heavy crits. house
Okay,
rule.
so I got an 8 for my regular roll on the damage, so that's doubled, right?
No, that's not how it works, Stephen.
Okay, I rolled an 8.
You rolled an
plus
8.
8.
You all, oh my God. All right. So the rapier on its own does 8 damage plus your sneak attack, which I think is 3d6. So it's 26 damage.
Okay,
Plus the 1 for magic is 27. Plus your dexterity modifier, which is what?
4.
4. So that's 31. Now you roll 1d8 and 3d6.
Okay, here comes sneak attack.
Yes, Aaron looks real happy about that.
I'm
That's a lot of damage.
I'm pleased at all the damage the vampire takes.
That is the worst sneak attack roll I've ever done. 8 for the sneak attack.
Oh,
Yes,
no.
but the good thing is that we're using this house rule, so you never do crits that are not at least, your normal amount of damage.
So, right. So the sneak attack did 8,
Okay.
right? And then I rolled just the regular Mr. Whippy. Sorry,
Yes.
confusing.
Yes.
That does 7
Roll a
more.
D8. Okay, so it's 15 plus the 31 is 46 damage. 46 damage. Okay.
Yes.
That's
Now,
real good.
I also say something to the
You,
effect
you
of
stab this rapier through her. It comes out the other side. Almost hits Cecilia. Doesn't
Rude.
quite. And the vampire looks back at the blade like, really?
oh, really? She didn't say ouch?
No.
Oh, damn it.
Not even sarcastically.
No.
Um,
She's not bloodied. I know.
Vampire guys.
okay, so everyone's now true or false. This is a true or false question. Sturge could disengage and tumble through the dimension door.
Yes, that is true. You could do that.
Another true or false question. True or false? Caliph could come bounding across the room and go through the dimension door, getting past the vampire.
She would provoke an attack of opportunity.
How can the vampire hold on to me and also attack her?
The vampire has 2 hands.
I guess she is really strong. And I
Well,
am not.
I know that Cecilia can whatever her little poofy magic
Misty
is.
step.
Misty step.
It's
into
a very well respected Rishemi witch.
the-
Tool. Have a little
Rishemi witch
respect.
power.
Yes.
So basically what I'm saying is the remaining friends of mine here could follow me through but provoke an opportunity attack.
Yep.
So they're going to tumble through, maybe bloodied, but they'll tumble through.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
Maybe.
Sturge is doing.
I mean, I don't know what everyone's going to do, but that is
Sturge is
theoretically
going to
possible.
say- he's going to withdraw Mr. Whippy, say, run away, and disengage, tumble through the door.
All right. You have a sensation of falling backward through space.
Mhm.
Okay.
Isn't that like what the ring did?
Oh,
The doppelganger ring?
Mhm.
yeah.
Mhm.
Well, all
dimension door.
teleportation works that way. So, all right.
That was my best shot. She didn't
it's-
even notice it.
Fly.
It's the vampire's turn. The vampire locks eyes with Cecilia.
46 damage.
Wait, didn't the vampire just go? I haven't gone yet.
Legendary actions.
Oh, that's right.
The vampire locks eyes with Cecilia. Cecilia, make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh no.
Look into
19.
the
Ooh.
That sounds good.
look into the edge of nothingness, and you manage. You do look into the darkness, and you manage to keep your will intact.
I've
Nice.
seen worse.
Oh,
In point of fact, you have seen worse, but you are one of the few people who has.
And Nietzsche is looking back at you.
All right. Her attempt to charm you does not seem to have happened.
Oh, I have advantage on saving throws against charm too.
oh, nice.
Perfect. You're fine.
But it doesn't matter because that one turned out good.
Okay. The guard is going to attack Stalin.
Wait, I
Wait,
thought I
Stal's gone.
went. Yeah,
Didn't Artemisia tackle him?
yeah.
too?
Didn't Artemisia take me through the door?
Oh, yeah, that's right. The guard is going to attack Caliph.
Wait,
It's a switcheroo! You sent the guard after him, then he sent the guard back.
I
So
thought-
the guard is like, well, the mistress has this upstart, It's fine. I'm going to go after the blade singer there. So the guard rushes over to attack Caliph. Ooh. And slips on all the blood the vampire has regurgitated over the ground and misses.
Yo, that's all Stong's blood. So
It is.
Like, I
It is,
helped
in
you.
fact, all Stong's blood.
Stong helped
Stong.
you.
Even though he's not here, he helps his friends. That's,
Always looking out for his best friend.
Okay, the vampire is going to backhand Cecilia.
Oh.
She's holding onto you and she's
Snotty.
Okay.
yeah, she definitely hits you.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's so snotty.
This vampire.
She only does 5 points of damage to you, though. It's not too bad. Cecilia's lip bleeds slightly. And the vampire says, I shall enjoy torturing you to death. Your despair shall be sweet to the lady. Okay, Cecilia, it is your turn.
Okay. Just because this doesn't happen to me a lot, what are the limitations on my actions if she's holding on to me?
You cannot move unless you escape from the grapple in some manner.
Okay.
Otherwise, you can do anything you want.
Okay. Can I hit her with my battle axe?
You could, yes.
Wait. Okay.
Don't worry about it.
I don't understand.
Don't worry about it.
I don't know. I don't understand Rashemi shit.
No.
You don't understand which shit. Let's be clear.
Yep.
You
Okay.
also don't
PG-13.
understand Rashemi shit. Yeah.
As much as I would like to make an argument with you about how I should be able to put my hand in her face like this and just Eldritch blast her up the nostrils,
No.
Hey, look, I didn't
won't
write
do
the
it.
mechanics.
I just think they're stupid mechanics. That's all.
Ooh, shots fired.
It's okay. It's not that you can't hit somebody standing right next to you. It's that it's hard to cast that spell with somebody standing right next to you and trying to bite you. I
Disagree.
right.
But that's okay.
That's the concept of the mechanics.
It's your game. It's fine. I can cheat in a novel and I can't cheat here. So that's fine.
It's fine.
I'll also
It's
point out when
Nazis
I
game.
did Misty Step in the novels, you could bring people with you because it's more interesting narratively. But anyway, I'm going to hit her with a battle axe. that's
Would you like to
slithering.
bring the vampire with you while you
No.
misty step? Okay.
No.
You never know until you try, Aaron.
Into the sunlight, Aaron.
You know what would be
Right.
really interesting is if you misty step, when you misty step, you could take someone's clothes with you.
I also, this was my dumb question from before. I actually am having trouble getting D&D Beyond to open. And I know I have 4 invocations now, and I've written down 3 of them. And I thought my 4th one was Thirsting Blade,
Hmm.
but I don't have it written down.
You know, I think it is.
Okay. This is what I'm like. I remember looking at these and crossing a lot of them off. And I remember looking at that one and going, that could be useful if I ever use my Pact Blade. But I don't have it written on my crappy physical sheet that I love forever. So I don't know.
I think it is.
Okay. Well, if it's not, it will be from now on, just to be fair. But that means I can hit her twice, or I can try to hit her twice.
Mhm.
Smack. So I'll just roll both of them at the same time. Okay. So one of those is an 11, and one
That
of
misses.
15.
That also misses.
This is why I hate the Pact Blade.
Her
Okay.
AC is 16.
Then I'm going to Misty Step and try to go through that dimension door.
Wait, are you gonna
Okay.
do something though? You got to say something before you leave. Like, no.
I'm just going to keep my stone-faced priestess look and be like, savor this disappointment.
And then
Nice.
you fall backward through space. Okay.
You'll be misting me.
So now the only 2 people still in the room with her are Caliph and Rogar. Rogar,
Aye.
the swarms of rats are now descending upon you.
Oh, take him with you.
So
Great.
here we go. Your AC is very high, so it's hard for them to get through. In fact, you've been wading through swarms of rats for like the last round or so.
Mhm.
But now I'm going to have them actually attack. Oh, man. Okay. So the rats, you didn't even notice that the rats were climbing onto you because you were so busy casting your spells and whatnot. But
Right.
now they've started to get inside your armor and are biting at your exposed flesh.
No, No.
Yeah.
You can still just run through, right? Just take a couple.
Yeah, bring the rats.
Bring the rats with you.
Hey, one of those swarms that's attacking you does 2 points of damage to you, and one of them does 4 points of damage to you. You're a little worried that you're going to fall asleep, but you do not.
I can't wait to see Dwarven Valkyries versus rats. Epic brawl.
Epic brawl.
All right, Stong, you would go, but you're no longer in the room. Rogar, your turn.
Right. Okay.
The crack is starting to flicker.
All right.
As though it's about to fade.
Okay. I cast. Bloody. Right. All right. I cast Sanctuary on Caliph.
Nice.
And then if I go through the crack, would that my spell end on Caliph if I'm not in the room?
Unclear.
Okay. All right. Can I withhold my running action until Caliph goes, so I make sure she gets through the crack? All right.
No.
Is it a
Okay. Then then I will go and I'm gonna go to the crack.
The dimensional portal. We don't have to keep calling it a crack.
That's a crack.
I'm gonna go.
It's a crack.
Into the crack. All right.
I want some crack. I'm gonna go to the crack.
I'm going to close up to the crack.
You go to the crack.
Oh man.
Go to the crack and
the crack. The crack in reality.
Aye, the crack. And
the spark and crack in reality.
I'll grab one of my crossbow bolts and put it halfway in the crack, hoping that maybe that will sort of help to maintain it open. Like if it senses something, like if there's something in mid-transition through the portal.
On the other side can see it and pull it.
All right, you feel an electrical current running through the crossbow bolt. Do you want to continue your movement through the crack?
Do I know? Not until Caliph has gone through. I'm just trying to hold it open for Caliph.
Just go through. Just go through.
Is that what you're shouting at me?
Yeah. It's like just run.
Do you guys lock eyes and exchange meaningful nods?
Nod.
I don't know if I can do that though. I'm obviously hesitating.
You have 10 seconds to decide.
Right.
Trust
I
got this. I'll get through.
Do you trust Caliph?
Death flag. No, just kidding.
Death flag.
I'll jump through the crack, guys.
All right.
Okay.
Boom. Rogar is gone. Caliph, you are alone in the room with the Duchess of Darkness and the one unbound guard. The other guard shakes himself as he's fought free of your hold person, and they advance on you with their rapiers. You see the crack in reality start to flicker out. What do you do?
Run for the crack. And can I do some sort of acrobatic feat to try and slip out of people's grasps, or
make an acrobatics check?
You could fly.
Because of
yes, no one can see.
Does she still have a sense of the sanctuary spell around
That would be hilarious, actually.
She doesn't know for sure.
Okay.
I believe she
21.
21. Okay.
Nice.
All right, you do some excellent floor routine and bound your way through the crack in reality. The vampire swings at you. This is her wisdom save for the sanctuary.
Nice.
And she does succeed at getting through the sanctuary. So this is her swing at you.
How hurt are you, Kayla?
I'm not hurt right now. Well, yeah, I'm not hurt right now.
Oh,
What?
The 2.
Oh, nice.
The vampire, you lunge right through the vampire's claws and
Oh,
through the crack in
nice.
reality. You feel yourself
honestly
falling
thought that
backward
was
through
going to.
space. And that's all the time we have for tonight. So
Oh, wow.
we're
Well, at
gonna
least you
leave
got
it
through.
right there. Tune in next week for the epic conclusion of the accidental incursion into the Night Mask's lair.
Oh my God.
Oh, we didn't
Yes.
get Marsilea. We have to go back.
Oh,
Well,
Cody, baby, we
I'm
don't.
not feeling terrible.
Well, we got
about that.
Artemisia, and that was our goal.
we're
Yes.
gonna resolve the Marsilea thing. Don't worry.
46
And,
hit points.
Tune in to see where Artemisia acquires this new power, and see what
And,
happens with the Duchess of Darkness's wrath. And yes,
see if
Yang-Yang?
Stong falls 6 feet and takes 1 point of damage, and then has to make some death saves.
All right, so I'm gonna toss it to my fellow players. Thank you for playing. Go ahead and thank who you would like, starting with Aaron.
Thank you to our sponsors, Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms. Check them out at idlechampions.com.
Thank you to our other sponsors, Gen Con TV. If you like board games, tabletop games, games of any sort, check out all their great content. They have content every week here at this channel. I mean, every night here at this channel. And I believe somebody might be posting like a schedule in the chat. So check them out.
Thank you, Marcus, our tech production guru. Keeps us on the air. Thank you so much.
Thank you to all of our viewers for watching us, because without you, we'd just be, I guess, not doing this. I don't know.
Into the void. Aye. And Yang, who was our mods this time?
Our mods are thank you to Seldarine801 and Shay Darksong. I believe I also saw Player Red sneak in there at the end. So thank you, Player Red.
Awesome. Thank you. And the adventure continues over on our website, where you can find info on the players, the characters, NPCs, awesome bonus materials, www.dungeonscrawlers.com. And until next time, stay scrawly. We're still working on it.
All right.